everybody, and welcome back. The ECL Elite Division Season 12 is here, and we are ready to get going. My name is Tuki, joined as always by my broadcast partner in Sin. And Sin, again, we mentioned it in the preview show, and I'm going to mention it here again. It really doesn't feel like we're ready to get this journey underway again, but I'm so glad that we are.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so much crazy stuff has happened over the offseason. The stage is set, and it has been, tumultuous to say the least. A lot of kind of, action happening on social media, other, forums and stuff like that. All the roster changes that we tried to highlight in that pregame show, but none of it can really speak for what this season is going to be. It has to get onto the ice, and that's where all the differences will be solved, and I can't wait for puck drop.
Absolutely. So again, for those of you that may have missed that preview show, it will be up on our YouTube channel. You can make sure to check that out after this broadcast. But as we mentioned in said show, it's a brand new journey, a new prize pool at the end, 15k euro on the line, 10 grand to the winner. And of course, we want to thank our sponsors that you'll hear all throughout the season for helping make that happen. Of course, our lovely friends at Wilhelm are back. We also want to shout out Viaplay and our favorite new sponsor, Kova Esports. Because we got to. Because you just got to keep throwing in those names to try and fool the Americans. But we're getting better. Sin, with that said, we need to get right through this kind of introduction here because we want to get everybody into the action as soon as we possibly can. So with that, let's take a look at the team matchup here. Of course, we are kicking off this brand new season. It is Kova Esports against the newly rebranded, newly back to their old name. It is Rusty Blades. And this is going to be one of those matchups in that I think we can look at towards the end of the year and say this started off either team's season for better or worse in the direction that they were ultimately going to go.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of I wouldn't say make or break for them, but we talked about it a bit. They really need to have that good the good start to the season here because, any rough start can really sort of doom a team. So, if they can both get off to a good start, they're both going to be looking for it here, but obviously only one team can win. So we'll see what happens here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a split.
Again, a friendly reminder for those of you that missed this preview show, the predicted standings from our panel of experts. And we wanted to throw to this because you see Rusty Blades at the bottom. A lot of roster changes really in the past week, not even knowing if the former Roots squad who made the playoffs last year were going to be able to piece together a squad that could be competitive. So a lot of pressure on them, and for Kova as well, a team that was on the outside looking in last season, a lot of pressure on them after perhaps not getting better on paper to prove a lot of people wrong. With that, let's get you a look at the team lineups for today's games here. As again, we mentioned a lot of different changes. You get a look at the squads, and for Kova Esports right now, I mean, Sin, as we take a look at these lineups, the differences in forwards, the differences on defense, of course, not a single one of these teams were able to really sidestep a lot of the roster changes that we saw this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really escape, the reality of what happened. Yeah, tons of roster turnover, a lot of, question marks heading into the season. And we'll see right here, right now, if they were able to sort of, improve upon things and get the lineup set and ready for this season. So, it's all going to happen on the ice here. We'll see if, the question marks, as we mentioned, will get sort of sorted out here when the puck drops. But I think both of these teams are really wanting that to happen. Enough of the offseason tumultuousness. Let's just get the puck dropped. Let's play some chill, and let's solve it on the ice.
So with that, let's get you a further in-depth look at these players. We'll take a look at the lineups, and starting things off, we'll take a look at the Kova squad here to get, again, a further look at these lineups. We kick things off with a Zip player, the captain of the team, the only forward from last year to play in the Elite Division. He is now centered by Vera with Yerax on the right-hand side. Sin, correct me if I'm wrong, but two elite rookies there. And on the defensive side, we have ourselves another defensive rookie in Pottsburg alongside Sock'em. Look out for Sock'em on that right-hand side. That man loves to hit, I think, more than just about anything else in this particular game. In goal, it's one of the two that we honestly, we weren't sure if we were going to see. It actually will not be Vincere in the lineup to start. He was the presumed starter, but it will be their main man from last year in Monkeyhead who gets the start out of the gate. So interesting how that's kind of already played out, Sin, where we get these presumed lineups heading into today's action, and already there's been a change. But that said, all things considered, two strong options in goal for Kova.
Yeah, and I think that just goes to show you how on edge things have been throughout this offseason, how uncertain things have been. I mean, we think we're going to see one goalie, another one steps in. We think a player's going to one team, all of a sudden he's on another roster. That's just how it's gone this offseason. But yeah, I think the ingredients are there for this lineup, and you mentioned it, Sock'em back there, really going to, put his own spin on the old Rock'em Sock'em hockey with all those hits he's going to lay. I would like to see him, get more on that offensive end of things as well, but it's always nice to have that shutdown defenseman in the back end.
He better trademark Rock'em Sock'em. He absolutely better. That'd be a missed opportunity. Taking a look at the Rusty Blades lineup now and their presumed lines, and we'll actually see if it ends up matching, and I do believe that it will. So we have that going for us at the very least. On the left-hand side, it is Dillinger, centered by one Migo Buna, and on the right will be Asantu. And all things considered, Sin, we actually have a different change here from that presumed lineup as well. So these teams throwing some monkey wrenches at us here. But it was Santu who was expected to be the starting center for our prediction here, and instead he will be on that right-hand side. So, again, we'll see how that plays out with Migo Buna at center. Both he and Dillinger with elite experience. Santu, of course, the big story here. Keep an eye on him. He jumps from our Neo division to light and then skips over pro all the way to elite. We'll see how he is able to do this season. And on defense, it is Nordsman, another elite rookie who will be alongside the captain in Tansky. And as expected, he's the only goalie on their roster right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Kazu is the man between the pipes after being in a tandem last year, Sin.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how we've seen that. We see a lot of trending. Some teams have a tandem just because they have two, good goaltenders, and you got to go with one of them. But Kazu is the guy here, and he did have a pretty good season last year, but not a lot of help on the offensive side of things, and that's where Roots really struggled. I think at times their defense was good. You could see it from Tansky, very kind of a shutdown guy, not a ton of points. You see it from Kazu, nearing on that 80% save percentage, and that's pretty solid for a team that ended up where they did in the standings here. But yeah, again, a lot to prove this coming season, and it starts right here today.
So with that, we are just a few moments away from puck drop here. Again, our beginning series. 2 games between these two teams. And of course, later on in this broadcast, we will see the newly rebranded Ique taking on the team that made it all the way to the finals last year just to fall short. It's Hreds' revenge campaign that kicks off. And again, what a welcome it is for Ique to be in the elite division, to have to take on a team like that. So again, with just a few moments to spare here, Sin, we would have seen the keys in the pregame as well, but just your quick thoughts on what we might see here between these two teams, especially after seeing the lineup.
It's hard to kind of judge, especially after all the turnover we did. We were looking and trying to find keys for this series itself, but you really can't answer some of those questions. I mean, we're going to have to see it, and then we can kind of hash things out after that, but we can kind of go back to some of what we talked about in the pregame. For Rusty Blades, I think really it's the offensive question marks. They had the troubles last season. Did they really fix that with some of the moves? It's hard to say on paper that they did, so that's something that we're really going to have to kind of see them kind of, if they got that going in the right kind of way. And, for Kova, again, I think it's big shoes to fill. Some of the guys filling those roles and filling the spots, Pottsburg, those young guys stepping in who may have had some success in other leagues, but this is the elite level. How are they going to perform here? We're going to find out today.
Again, the mysterious panel of experts that we had for those preseason predictions, maybe not giving a ton of the rookies credit, which, hey, at the end of the day, it is sink or swim in the elite division. Some people were able to make that jump rather successfully, others not so much. And the problem is, and we saw it too, with that incredible amount of roster turnover, we thought it was crazy last year. This set the bar to a completely different standard. But even if you successfully make the jump, it doesn't mean you'll be back in the elite division next year, because other teams, if they don't get the results that they want, Ippe, they might still drop the runner-up for Rookie of the Year, who doesn't currently find himself on a team's starting lineup. We are very sorry about that, Vatu. It's crazy. The elite division never fails to disappoint in how everything plays out. Again, game 1 starting in just a few moments here. Sin, I mean, it really is tough to predict, right? Normally, for one of these broadcasts, I'd throw you under the bus a little bit and say, hey, who's going to win, who's going to lose? But both of these teams right now, a lot of question marks, as you said. We don't really know what to expect. All we do know, though, is that pretty much every result for both of these teams matters at this stage, because as we talked about in that preview show, really outside of the top 5, which seems to be locked in, and I think barring a miracle, those 5 teams that we mentioned, missing out on the playoffs seems almost impossible. But from there, it is a logjam of talent from the potential 6th seed all the way to the relegation spots.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of touched on it in that pregame show. It is the Wild West here. You don't know what's going to happen. And that's, I mean, we've mentioned that before. We're like, oh, maybe the 8 through 12 spot, anyone could end up there. Or, the 5 through 8 spot, really, there's a few teams who could end up there. But really, as we mentioned, after that top 5, who we say are really guaranteed to make the playoffs, we don't even know if they're all going to be in that top 5. I mean, with how much roster turnover that has been, even some of those top teams losing some players, gaining some players, it's who knows, but I mean, the world's kind of on fire right now, and through the ashes, we will kind of see who's willing to take that step and take their slice of the pie that is the ECL Elite Playoffs.
So again, you saw the teams in the lobby there. We are just about ready to go. A new Elite season is underway. Cannot believe we're here. We hope you stick with us through this lovely journey all the way through the end of July. It is a mad dash to the finish. Sid and I will be here every Monday and every Wednesday. And of course, our Finnish broadcast partners will be here on Thursdays as well. So make sure to follow the channel if you're not already. Links to all the socials, of course, pop up in chat from time to time. Of course, you can find all that info below the stream as well. Sid, we're ready. A new season is here. It is Kova and Rusty Blades kicking things off. Let's see how this season plays out as puck drop is underway. And here we go. Again, the beginning of a brand new season here. And we'll see how these two teams go. Rusty Blades in the attacking zone to kick things off. We'll see what kind of player and puck movement there happens to be. See how involved the defense happens to get as well. A good attempt there to get in front of goal was stifled. Here comes the captain, Zip Players. He'll send that one down. And actually, excuse me, of course, it is Kova in the purple. It'll be Rusty Blades going down. So, indeed, we'll see how this one plays out. As that was, that was Zip Player. We're good. We're good. We move on here though. And let's see once more now what the home team can do. Captain Zip Player moving it over to Sock'em again. The lone 2 players in the skaters category in the starting lineup for Rusty Blades this season. And we'll see how all this plays out. It's in a bit of a slow and steady start.
Yeah, definitely kind of taking their time. I like the early attack from Rusty Blades, trying to test that slot. They tried to, go behind the net, kick that puck out for the quick, one-touch pass on that short side. But, the Kova defense was really having none of that. And I like that they, snuffed that out early. But as Rusty Blades, I like that they're trying it early. Sometimes we talked about it. Teams kind of, try to like to feel themselves out. And I like Kova Rusty Blades attacking that high percentage area early on. But you can see here, holding the blue line exceptionally well. Kova struggling to enter that zone.
as it'll be Rusty Blades coming back. Of course, for those of you on the North American side, why is the home team wearing white? Because they can, if they want to. All things considered, an offside there. 11:32 remaining here in the first period. Again, a bit of a slow and steady start to this one. Not much of an offensive, it's not much of offensive attacking pressure. I'm gonna try to phrase it as nicely as I can, but as we mentioned, every game is going to matter for these two teams. As Pottsburg feeds it up to his center, Vera, but again, nowhere to go. Promising pressure there, but it finally breaks down. And let's see what Rusty Blades can do here. Held into the zone by Sock'em. Or excuse me, by Kova here. You are indeed right. Shot on there does not go. And a big stretch pass one more time. Let's see what the Blades can do as they're in the zone. Again, doing a good job of shutting down that blue line so far, Sim.
Yeah, and, while they do gain some entry here,
And out of nowhere, they gain entry. They did more than that, Sin. They find the back of the net. The first goal of this season belongs to the new center acquisition in Vera.
Yeah, and I really like that. Kova was having trouble getting that puck into the zone with their forwards, so they started activating the defensemen. That was Pottsburg on that left-hand side, joining the rush, getting it in across the board, sending that puck down low, and then Vera finding himself in that high percentage scoring area right in the low slot. The pass across was perfect, and, doesn't get much better than that. That's exactly what you needed to start things off in this one.
So the elite rookie has his first goal within his first period of play. We'll see how the Blades respond. Can't get that shot through. Again, for Vera, he had 34 points in 18 preseason games with the team, so was clearly showing that he could fit in relatively well. And he in goal here. 4-1 Kova Esports. We will see what happens from here. Again, the Blades were doing a good job of shutting down the blue line. One more time, Kova into the attacking zone. Not able to do much with it. Again, the Blades have not had much sustained offense. One chance, really, in the offensive zone so far through this opening frame here in this first period. Let's see what Kova can do one more time here. Good movement. Down low. And knocked loose. Fought on for, though. Pottsburg pinching in on defense. Still fighting for it. Regains. Tried to send to the cross. Way too much traffic there. And couldn't find the seam. As again, the Blades nowhere to go right now, but they do hold it in the attacking zone. Send down and around. Dillinger fighting for it as well. So I believe Migo Buna, the center, getting in there. But again, nothing happening for the Rusty Blades on attack so far. One more chance here for Kova, perhaps. 7 seconds, a pass off the boards. Couldn't find its intended target. One more rush chance for the Blades. Good movement. Caught on the backhand, and the contact will knock the carrier off balance. That'll bring us to the end of the first period here, Sin. A very good start for Kova. Maybe not the most offensively dynamic game we've ever seen in the world, though.
Yeah, a bit, kind of slow going. One shot, one goal for both teams so far, and it's Kova Esports capitalizing on it, but I like the adjustment they made. Early on, Rusty Blades holding that line, and they start activating more bodies. If you send more bodies into that zone, you can start pulling guys out of position, and we saw that as that first period wore on. Kova Esports sending different guys into different places, and it worked out for them. We saw Sock'em activating, we saw Pottsburg activating, which did lead to that goal. Rusty Blades, I think, need to make a couple more adjustments. Now, they did gain some zone entry there, but it was, kind of on the back of a few, over-aggression from either Pottsburg or Sock'em, and Sock'em, went for a big hit at the tail end of that period, missed it on the blue line, and it actually almost led to a scoring chance in the dying seconds. Gonna have to be careful with that, because if they get another chance like that, Rusty Blades could capitalize.
And we mentioned there, too, in the preseason keys, I do suppose that defensively, we could see Pottsburg be perhaps a bit more of the offensive of the two. And, of course, the big key as well for Kova, the two new additions next to Zip Player and Vera and Yarax, again, played on the same team last year in the Nordic Stars. And that chemistry that they already have built in offensively seems to be obviously panning out already, at least through the first half of this game. There is a huge hit there, though, dropping the captain. Let's see what the Blades can do. Puck dumped in. Good pressure to win it back. Dillinger Dishes back to the point. Pass through traffic. Couldn't wire that one on. Perhaps one pass too many. Zip player bringing it back down the ice. Pass across. Loose puck. Pottsburg on the doorstep. Just couldn't find the open lane, but Sin, he is being aggressive very early on here.
Yeah, you like to see it. No nerves coming out from Pottsburg. Not afraid to join that rush. And what I like to see, he's joining it at the right time, and it's really paying off for his squad.
Chance there. Puck bounced into the air. Kaza is able to stop that one from going in. Nervous energy. Turnover there, though, from the rookie Nordsman. Chance for Zip player. Gets it in front. No one on the receiving end of it, though. Chances for Kova. The Blades trying to figure things out here. Good cycle down low. Pass in front of the shot, just wide of the post from Dillinger. That might be what it has to be for Rusty Blades here, is just making the most of very few opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you don't have a lot, you got to really attack that slot. Maybe they're trying to force it a bit. It worked out sort of right there. They got the shot on, trickled wide, but here they go with good forecheck pressure.
Again, a short side shot, not able to find its way through for Migo Buna. Chance here for Viray over the line. Pottsburg steps up. Gets it down to Zip player along the half wall. Dish back to the point. D to D here, and again cycled down low. Around the back of the net now. Pressure there on Vera, not able to hold on to it. Good double team pressure there from the former Nordic duo. Shot from the point and a big kick save. Saw it all the way through the traffic, but good idea from Sockham to throw that one on.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes just keep it simple. Throw that puck on net. Not a rebound that he wanted. No sticks in front for that deflection, but they get the offense's own face-off.
And off the tie-up here. Turned over with Rusty Blades. Not able to hold on to it. Pressure here again from Vera, doing a really good job of frustrating this Rusty Blades defense. Really not giving them any time. They go for the dump and chase again. Dillinger, quick passes again. Chance on the backhand, and he couldn't get it on net. But it's something we don't see all that often in the European side of things, the dump and chase. Rusty Blades, though, trying to generate opportunities out of it.
Yeah, I like to see him pulling it out. You know, I mean, if your zone entries aren't working, look for another option. If they're holding that line, try to get them going. Try to get them, committing to that blue line and then dump it behind them. We've seen them do that a couple times, and it's worked.
Here's Sockham, good feed over to the captain, poked away once more. Zip player dishes back, D-to-D, shot, knocked down. Good job by Dillinger to get in front of that one, but it's still Kova in possession. Good chance one more time for Sockham. Bring it back down low. And again over to Zip player, trying to weave his way through. He takes another huge hit for his troubles. Rusty Blades, maybe their identity will be in the physical play this season, if this has been anything to go off of so far.
Yeah, and they're looking like they really want to cycle down low, then attack the middle. And why not with this year's, an NHL 21? I mean, sometimes those middle passes can find their way through the skates and the feet. Just not so much that case. He takes a hit, and it hits a skate.
Trouble there in front. Loose puck is recovered by Rusty Blades. Again, we'll see what they're able to do here on this breakout. Trouble for Dillinger. Migo Buna trying to weave his way through. Nowhere to go through the traffic. Pottsburg having a bit of trouble. Good quick movement from Kova, but a better job there by Rusty Blades to try and reestablish that blue line control. But Sin, again, we see another pretty close offside call.
Yeah, that's a rough one. They really caught Kova Esports right there. Pottsburg tried to jump in and keep that play alive, and two guys got behind him, and the winger wasn't quite in position to really defend that. So an unfortunate offsides there. Really could have led to kind of a 3-on-2 and an overload on that screen left, but it didn't quite work out for him, as we see yet another offside here. So Kova doing a good job holding that line. Rusty Blades unable to gain the zone cleanly.
In the first game of the season here in ECL Elite, of course, Season 12 here, the top division. The best of the best going at it. Both of these teams with perhaps, being viewed with lesser expectations this year. But you never know in the Elite Division how things will play out. That stretch pass taken away, quickly recovered, and again, sent all the way down. So there will be a chance here on this face-off. It'll all start with Migo Buna in the middle. And we'll see what Rusty Blades can do. A goal here would be massive for their chances to get back into this one. Only down by one. Tie up on the draw. It's going to end up all the way out of the zone. As Tonsky recovers, tried to fire one on. Might have been wide, but a good block by the rookie Pottsburg regardless. Sin, 1-0 is the scoreline. A goalless second period It's Kova, still looking strong, though, getting the better of the play.
Yeah, absolutely. But a 1-goal lead, I mean, it's tenuous at best as we're seeing a couple of those big hits lining up, maybe seeming like they're targeting Zip player just a little bit, but, you know, good aggression coming out at the right time for Rusty Blades. I mean, laying those hits in the neutral zone can be dangerous, but if you lay them at the right time when you have that backup, that's what we're seeing right there, that hit from Migabuna, in that back end. I believe it was I think Tonski landed a hit the second time on Zip player down low as he tried to force that pass into the middle. But one of the most low shooting games that we've really ever seen. Just goes to show you kind of the neutral zone battle that we've seen. But also there's been some offensive, time for each of these squads. But it seems like they really, are looking for a certain look or two. But perhaps now in this third period, especially if you're Rusty Blades, you might want to open that up a bit. I liked when they started dumping that puck in. Perhaps now, get a quick shot on net. Look for those rebounds. Look for a blue collar, a gritty goal down there. Anything can happen with the bounces in this game, and they got to get it done here in this third period.
This third period just about ready to begin again. The opening day of the season. Very excited to see how this all plays out. The quick entry here. Migobuna's going to pick it up. Shot on, and he can't bury it. What an opportunity right out of the gates for Rusty Blades. But a bigger save there by Monkeyhead. And we'll see what happens now moving forward. Maybe that backs Kova off just a little bit after allowing that chance early on. But here we go. They're back in. See if they can gain the offensive zone. Trouble there. Rusty Blades, I mean, again, not a bad identity to try and forge, being a tough team to work your way past when you have so many new pieces. Another offside call there, Sin, for the Blades, not able to gain the zone.
Yeah, and you kind of saw the mentality there from Kova. Once that puck went loose, immediately they all dropped back. No one even went to pressure that puck. They just kind of gave it up. If it's a 50-50, they're going to give it up. They do not want to allow another skater behind them as they did, just a bit earlier, but Monkeyhead came up with the save. We'll see right now if Rusty Blades can gain that zone, but again, it just seemed to be a little off. They're trying to attack with some of those defensemen. Nordsman, maybe expecting that pass down the boards, didn't get it, and yet another offsides. But they got to figure this out. They got to figure it out quick. I would like to see him go back to dumping that puck a bit. It worked for them the couple times that they did it, and I haven't seen it since.
Again, more so the reason I think why we saw Rusty Blades in that preview show being placed at the bottom. Not so much to say they're guaranteed relegation fodder, but so many changes made to that lineup just before the season started. I think you can tell that chemistry that you really need in the Elite Division isn't there right now. We'll see if it can develop throughout this series. Of course, another game coming up between the two and throughout the season, but that is a rough, tripping call. Dillinger will take a seat. Kova going on the man advantage.
Yeah, rough one to take so far from your old net, but I liked it from Dillinger trying to get that puck loose. If he did get his hands on that, that could have been a chance.
All the power play can do, and it didn't take long. What a feed there. Vera able to find his former teammate, still current teammate, one more time. Yarax also has his first elite goal in his first game.
And it happened just like that. Once again, a backdoor feed and a tap-in goal. That's two this game, so maybe something that Rusty Blades is going to have to look at between Nordsman and Tonski, allowing that player to sort of get behind them there unobstructed. That wasn't a forced pass. That was a really clean look there on the power play. And Kova, just like that, capitalizing on that mistake from Rusty Blades, and it's 2-0 here with about half of the third left to go. Rusty Blades have got to get something. They've got to get it now.
Be really interesting to see now what the Kova defense looks like. Whether or not they continue to try to put that pressure on. But again, what a debut for the two new pickups up front for Kova from the former Nordic Stars in the Pro Division. Vera and Yarax both getting their goals in their debut games. And a chance for Yarax again in front, just not able to settle that one down. Time to see what the Blades can do, but they turn it over. Here's Zip player. Has a little bit of space to work with. Back to the point again, down low. Across, and a big stop there by Kazu to keep his team in it. Remember that one if the Blades are able to make things happen. They're here on the rush, but quickly shut down. And Sin, you saw it there. Great work by the captain Zip player to drop back, but he turns it over. One more chance here on this possession, perhaps. Migabuna down low. And again, that low cycle, trying to get it going. That pass banked off a skate. Still fought on for and held by Dillinger. Shot on from the point from Nordsman. Doesn't go through and ultimately deflects out of play.
You can see the desperation coming out from Rusty Blades. They got, defensemen trying to activate. They had about 3 or 4 bodies on that left-hand side.
Off the draw here. This one to the right-hand side of the goaltender. Recovered by Kova. They do work it through. Vera looking for a bit of space. Finds Zip player. Pass back across. And a great pickoff there by Nordsman as we approach the final 5 here in regulation. The first game of the season. Of course, we'll see a second game between these two teams coming up after this. Chance here for Vera. What a play. Just couldn't find Zip player on the other end of it, but the creativity and the confidence already on display from the 2 new rookies up front for Kova Esports. Drop back down with 3 minutes to go. Here's Sockham, good quick movement through the zone. And Sin, I see Pottsburg pinching up. Maybe they want him to get his first goal as well, making a hat trick of rookie goals to kick off this season.
Yeah, it would definitely settle them all in, but we've really seen that as this game has wore on. Kova, getting crisper and crisper with their passes and puck movement as this game's gone on, kind of those nerves getting out of the way, and they're really looking good here.
And a shot just wide there on the blocker side for the rookie here, at least up front for Rusty Blades in Santu. Migo Buna has it one more time. Back to the point. Shot on and stopped. Monkey Head makes that one look easy. 46 seconds to go.
And I'm seeing kind of Rusty Blades not too sure of what they want to do in that offensive end. They got a lot of puck movement and a lot of bodies moving, but I don't really see a clear play being set up for a scoring opportunity. Some shots being taken, but it's just not quite there. They're still seeming like, a bit discombobulated, and that could just go back to the chemistry issue.
Here's Zip player all alone, poked away by Kazu. Couple of big saves there. Certainly can't blame the loss. 25 seconds away that they are away from on the Rusty Blades netminder. Turned over here. Migo Buna scores! 20.3 to go. This one might not be done. Migo Buna able to make things happen off the turnover. Sin, get another look at this.
Yeah, and that's something that Kova's going to have to be careful of. If you look at right there, 87, Zip player, going for almost a Hail Mary play, but if you're doing that, you're not giving your defenseman a passing option. They're forced to kind of go towards the middle, and Migo Buna right there to pick it off, playing aggressively. Kova, got to maybe dial it back just a little bit, make sure that they're defending well. Don't get too high on themselves just yet. They're not out of it. 20 seconds remaining, anything can happen. Rusty Blades have put themselves back into it. A quick play from them, and they could tie this up. Kova, got to be careful here, and we're seeing them, I believe, yeah, that is them taking their time out, that just to settle things down, maybe just have a talk like, hey guys, let's settle it down, first game of the season here, make sure that we're clearing the zone, make sure we're not going for, the stats right now, let's get the W's.
The commentator's curse continues, and it begins in the very first game of the season. Mentioned Kova being 30 seconds away from getting the win, maybe not so much, as Migo Buna is able to bury it. 20.3 on the clock. Let's see how this one plays out. Is there still time, and at the very least, perhaps building blocks for the next game, as that one deflects wide. Recovered by Avera. Back down for Zip player. In front, Yarax tried to send it back across, turns it over. 8 seconds to go. Big pickoff there by Yarax. He'll send it down. Hail Mary pass off the mark, and that will do it. So unfortunately for Monkey Head, he loses a shutout in his first game of the season with just 20 seconds to go, but it's a big performance from Kova Esports to be able to walk away with a win in their first game of the season.
Yeah, definitely. And, I like what they saw. I like the confidence coming out for them, but, maybe it was a little bit of overconfidence towards the end there, still going for, big offensive plays instead of trying to close that out. Maybe a bit close for comfort there, but they do come away with that W. And I like, the adjustment that they made, that, they make that mistake, they immediately rectify that. They win a face-off, get it down low, just try to cycle it a little bit down low. As soon as that puck, gets loose and maybe it's a 50-50 battle, all 3 forwards drop back, and Yarax made that pick at the blue blue line, reading the breakout pass, and that's what really solidified the victory. And when he got that, he didn't try to skate it in. He just sent that puck down low, forcing Rusty Blades to reset, and that's what kind of sealed the victory there from Kova. But they did that throughout the game. Anytime they needed to make adjustment, it seemed like they made that proper adjustments. We saw it a bit from Rusty Blades, but, not quite enough. The solo goal coming from Migo Buna, unassisted, a great turnover there. I liked when they, utilized the dump and chase to get some of that offensive time, but once they had the zone, they didn't look exceptionally dangerous. They got the puck to dangerous areas, but it didn't seem like they had the threat there to score a lot of the time, so they got to kind of figure that out. They have guys pinching, but that only kind of works if you're pinching at the right times in the right areas. If there's too many bodies in one spot, you can just clog up that side of the ice defensively. You have to try to spread them out, put threats in, 2-3 different places on the ice, and that's really what we saw Kova do to open things up and get those 2 goals down low in the low slot. So Rusty Blades got their work cut out for them here in this second game, but I got to say, I like what Kova brought to the table.
And again, a very impressive performance for them, all things considered, and that was our big talking point heading into that first matchup. And again, stick with us. We'll have a second game between these two coming up in just a matter of moments. And of course, after that, in a brief intermission, we will see Ique and Hreds go head-to-head as well here on opening night. But when talking about what we saw from Kova, that advantage that they had in terms of the 2 new additions up front, having that built-in chemistry. I mean, Zip Player, the captain, certainly didn't look out of place alongside them. They had that extra time to try and figure out their identity, to try and figure out their go-tos and get that chemistry. You could really tell, Sin, and you pointed it out a couple of times in that first game. For Rusty Blades, it's there. You can tell something is there in terms of offensive consistency, but they just haven't had the right time or the amount of time to get on the right page. Yeah. And the big question for them this season is, can you pull that off in Elite? Most of these teams, we've seen it from the promoted teams as well. Some of them making changes, some of them not, of course. And I mean, for a newly promoted team, it's almost as if we have, 4 newly promoted teams, maybe even 5 newly promoted teams this year with some of the lineup changes that we've seen. We're shouting you out, Vesapampa. For Rusty Blade, it almost seems like the type of move where you'd go down the pro for a season. And we see it every year. Some elite talent, you go down to our lower division, try to find something that might work in the elite, and then you work your way up. Having to do this on the fly for Tonsky and for Rusty Blades is one heck of a challenge, to put it nicely. And we'll see if they're able to do this. I mean, like you said, though, I can see those building blocks, especially offensively, and for Dillinger and Migo Buna, they were in the Elite Division last year. They're certainly not out of place in this division, but can you find that chemistry on the fly? And mainly, I think, for this season, it's solidifying their place in the Elite Division at this stage. It's not so much about the playoffs, it's can you avoid having to find yourself in a relegation battle.
Yeah, it's trying to find building blocks, and that's not quite the position that you want to be in. You don't want to be having to find chemistry as the season goes on, but that's just the card that's just the hand that they were dealt this season. So they're going to have to deal with it, figure out a way to make it work. They don't want to get into it too early of a hole this season, so it's a lot of pressure on them to get things right, to figure things out. And, didn't quite work out for them in that game 1, but you mentioned it. It's there, but execution-wise, they couldn't quite find it. Kova, on the other hand, maybe started out a bit slow, but we could really see that chemistry coming to fruition. Vire and Yerax were exceptionally strong, down the stretch there. We saw them connecting, on those 2 goals, and especially on the power play. It's, I think Kova, they're going up against a team that may be having some early struggles and maybe trying to figure some things out, but they really looked good at times with that game going on down the stretch.
Now, a look back as well at the stats here. Only 4 shots apiece for both teams. I think you could tell Kova, it was certainly a matter of looking for those high-quality chances, and it worked out. Obviously, ultimately the game-winning goal on the power play, the one mistake that Rusty Blades happened to make in that regard. But 6 minutes of attack for Kova for just under 5 for Rusty Blades. We'll keep hammering home that point. It's there. Face-offs were close, 11-8 in Kova's favor. This Kova squad didn't exactly run away with this one. I think this second game could go a long way, and perhaps that late goal for Rusty Blades could be somewhat of a building block here. We might have a slight delay, fair warning there, hopefully not, but we might have a slight delay for the beginning of game number 2. And honestly, I think that could be a big positive for Rusty Blades at this point to maybe be able to talk this out a little bit and hopefully for them get things on track. So, Sin, for that Rusty Blades squad then, obviously we talked about for Kova, man, things are looking pretty good. But for them, what were the main things you were seeing in terms of, I guess, some of the hiccups that they had? Maybe that indecisiveness in the offensive zone. I feel like we didn't point out Santu all that much, whether or not that's just due to how fast, the speed of play happens to be or whatnot. But the new addition on the right wing for Rusty Blades seemed to be a little bit overshadowed in the offensive zone by the two with the lead experience. And then defensively as well, of course, you talked about it, particularly on the penalty kill situation. Nordsman and Tansky getting a little bit mixed up. I don't really think we have to worry about Kazu all that much. He made some big saves when called upon, obviously not called upon all that often. But what do you see from Rusty Blades that, we might see, a bit of an adjustment in the strategy for the second game?
When they kind of got in that hole, everyone kind of seemed to want to make something happen. The problem was they were kind of trying to all do it at the same time. It's a lot of give and take when you're in that offensive zone, and I kind of touched upon that when I saw them. They had, they sent in a defenseman to pinch, but the problem was that puck was on the same side that he was pinching. So when they were overloading on that side, you have 3 forwards around that area. You send in a defenseman, that's a bit too many bodies to really make something happen. What you want to do is have an overload on one side, sneak in that defenseman from the opposite side to generate that high one-timer threat. When you can do that, someone's got to jump to cover him. Maybe that opens up the high slot. Then you can have the one-time option for one guy in the high slot, and then you have that ever, scary rollout option where the one guy has it down low, another guy cycles from the corner boards across the net. You get that quick pass in front. It's hard as a goalie to defend that, especially when they shoot it towards that far side. You see it all the time, no matter what, level of competitive play. You see it because it works and it's simple. And I think that's what Rusty Blades kind of need to do. Kind of try to keep it simple. When they all started rushing in, trying to make something happen, they just kind of almost be seeming to get in each other's way a bit, and that kind of stifled their own attack, and it made defending for Kova just that much easier.
So again, just a few moments away, at least we hope, from the second game. And as mentioned, the doubleheader to kick off this new season, Ique and Hreds going head-to-head as well a little bit later on in this broadcast. So 1 game down, 4 to go as we kick off this new season. And of course, again, we'll shout it out, all the information that you need, NHLgamer.com, of course. All the ways to follow along in the Twitch description. Essentially, it is there, whether it be the Discord, the Twitter, the Instagram, the YouTube channel as well, where you can watch that lovely preview show that our broadcast team behind the scenes was able to put together on rather short notice yet again. But hey, just goes to show what an incredible team we have here. Sin, we are about ready to go for game number 2 between these two teams. Based off of that first game, couldn't really put you on the spot. How do you think this one's going to go, all things considered, once we get underway?
I think Rusty Blades, can kind of, make the adjustments needed, but I don't know. There wasn't a ton of positives from that game for them. That's tough to say with the amount of talent that they have. But yeah, they just kind of seem to be a little bit all over the place at times. And we saw from Kova, while the game started out kind of slow, they got better and better and better, and you saw them kind of gaining that confidence, trying some new things out. They figured they're like, all right, we're in the driver's seat. What can we pull out of the hat? We saw some, nice back skating zone entries, not just for fancy, but protecting that puck. But you have to be comfortable in your situation to start pulling that out of the hat. I mean, if you're down in a game, oftentimes you're just trying to make something happen. You're going to power your way into the zone, straight line it. But we saw from Kova Esports, really, the confidence building, and that led to better plays, better passes, and they're really trying to stretch out, Rusty Blades. They saw that they're trying to make something happen, pulling guys in to try to force those turnovers. That opens up a lot more passing options. And Kova had a good cycle, good neutral zone, good blue line hold. And I think it's going to be tough for Rusty Blades to answer back with a W here. But as you said, the ingredients are there. If they can't execute, though, they're going to lose this second game.
So the prediction is up in chat on who you think might win this next game. Might be doing some interesting things with the channel points this season. So, hey, maybe keep an eye out. Place a bet. Do what you got to do. But remember to bet responsibly. Sin, I'm ready for this one to get underway because, again, it still doesn't feel real that we're here, that this season's ready to go. You get a look at the two teams in the locker room here as well. And again, I think we'll be expecting to see it quite a bit. The idea of the smaller puck possession based builds that we really saw dominate last year.
Yeah.
The puck moving defenseman was a huge part of the success for the top teams last season, just in terms of, again, the possession game that they had, but also the defensive ability as well.
Yeah, and I saw Zip Player actually using a dangler, and I'm thinking back to last season, I don't remember him utilizing a dangler build. I could be wrong on that. Maybe that's what he's comfortable with, but it seemed to be that mostly we saw playmakers, puck-moving defensemen, except for, Afe, who decided, I'm going to use this sniper, and he plays by his own rules quite clearly, and it works for him.
31 goals, so who are we to say he's...
I ain't arguing with it, but yeah, Zip Player utilizing that dangler, something that I feel like we don't really see too much in competitive play, even on the European side of things. They definitely seem to be preferring the playmaker and puck mover, but Zip Player breaking that out, and he did look pretty good on that. We'll have to see how that works here in the second game.
So here we go, the second game of two between these two squads. Again, it was Kova taking game one to kick things off this season. As you see here, they are in the black, Rusty Blades in the white. And a chance here for the Blades early on. Backhand just wide. Blocker's side. Bit of a change-up there. Thrown on goal. And we will see what Kova can do. Winning game one by the score of 2-1, but a quick offside there. I don't recall them going offside in game one. That was mostly reserved for the Blades.
Yeah, definitely. So, good job early on, at least from the Rusty Blades, kind of holding that line. But that's what we saw, bit of a slower start. Then when Kova started gaining that zone, throwing some more bodies at him, it was hard for Rusty Blades to contain that attack. But we're seeing it as we saw it, in the first one. Kova Esports, a strong blue line stance. We'll see if perhaps Rusty Blades, start utilizing that dump and chase early on.
Trouble there here with the pressure. Turned over. Sent back down low. Nobody seems to want the puck right now. Again, back below the goal line here. Blades back in possession. Migo Buna drops down low for the pinching defenseman. Loose puck in front, bouncing around. But it'll be Pottsburg to settle that one down. A little bit of hot potato back and forth. Who wants it, who doesn't? Here's Zip Player with speed and that smaller build. Can't dish that one through the crease. Kazu will play it out. Perhaps a counter-attacking opportunity here for Rusty Blades. They gain the zone. Chance there. Dillinger back down low to Santu. Again, tried to find the man in front. It's just not there on that attempt. Zip Player, quick dish. Back down low now. And again, thrown in front, scrambled on, banked off the back of the net by Vera. Yarak still fighting for it. Dishes to Sock'em, D to D, back again. Sock'em, one-timer to Zip Player. Taken to the chest, but great movement there from Kova.
Yeah, and they're just taking what's given to them. Anytime they have space, they're sending the puck to that area. It doesn't matter, who's got it, they're just sending it to that open space, and it's opened up quite a bit there.
Still loose and clear. Didn't know how to call that one. What I do know how to call, Sin. Yarax is looking very dangerous, almost stealthy off the draws, finding his way into danger areas.
Yeah, absolutely. Doesn't matter if it's a tie-up, what kind of face-off they're getting. He's, as you said, really surreptitiously finding his way into those scoring areas, getting himself in position to score. That one very, very close, kind of a bouncing puck situation, unable to capitalize on it. But yeah, it's something that, Rusty Blades haven't really been able to do is contain those forwards down low.
An offside call again. Migo Buna gets decked. The good thing is that, of course, he has the lovely golden helmets. Of course, signifying that he is their team's leading scorer. Good thing he had that to protect him, because that was a heck of a hit after the whistle.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes blinding your opponents, and say what you will about the Vegas helmets, it may be a bit distracting in the pro area, but on here, I think it looks good.
Yeah, right? Is Vera able to send that one in front again? Looking for the one-timer to Zip Player. He's a dangler, but he's letting him fly right now. It is the two centers. There you see Vera rocking it as well. Of course, Migo Buna. So keep an eye out for the centers based off of those first two games. But we'll continue to see if Zip Player tries to go full Alex Ovechkin. I mean, so far right now, very Alex Ovechkin-esque as in not scoring. Have fun golfing, Washington Capitals. We move on here, though. Well, let's see how this plays out. As again, it's Kova in the attacking zone. We've been saying that a lot here through the opening 3.5 periods, essentially, of these two team seasons. Good movement at the line. Great job to hold, but the follow-up pass just not there from Tonski. It's Kova able to dump this one in. Essentially, Yarak's not able to chase it down. And still looking for that offensive consistency from Rusty Blades, but again, as we talked about, they might have to try to work it out throughout the season. Chance here. Santu holds, can't find the extra pass. And a chance now for Yarak's going back down the other way. Pass off the mark, but recovered by Pottsburg at the point. D to D over to Sock'em. Sock'em pinching in, down below the goal line now. Looks to circle back and wanted Yarak's on the boards. But again, new players as well. Just not knowing where he wanted, where the defenseman wanted him to be. But it's Yarak's back down low in the corner to Pottsburg, tried to pick the corner, and a shot just wide. As expected, Sin, Pottsburg not afraid to let a shot go.
Yeah, and I like the delay right there. Definitely could have one-timed that, but wanted to see perhaps what the goalie was going to do. Sometimes you can catch a goalie over sliding, and just looked for it, didn't quite pan out.
Hands there off the pass, knocked loose at the last second. Dillinger just not able to hold that one. Puck knocked loose from the back. Final 20 seconds here. Let's see what happens. A scramble for it. Migo Buna comes up with it again. Toe drag, knocked loose. 3 seconds to play. And Sin, just like that. Chance here late for Zip player. But he runs out of time. That was close. Just like that. That brings us to the end of a goalless first period.
Yeah, and once again, Rusty Blades 0 shots in the first period. Kova this time upping their 1 shot, 1 goal to 4 shots, no goals. Upgrade or downgrade, you can decide, but they did look good. And once again, I feel like Kova was taking what was given to them. Rusty Blades maybe trying to force something, and I saw that a couple times on the break-in especially. The winger would get the puck on the boards, and instead of taking the ice in front of him to gain the zone, tried to feed it back to the middle where 2 Kova defenders were. And it seems like Rusty Blades is trying to, keep it calm by playing to a system. The problem is that system isn't quite working against this team right now. You're going to have to just, maybe just take what's given to you a little bit more. If that means dump and chase, fine. If that means, straight lining it down the boards and then, getting it down low, fine. Let that be. But you've got to be able to generate something. A big hip check by Vire.
A chance here for the Blades, but again, a pass off the mark, chasing it down. Migo Buna not able to get a hold of that one. And again, let's see. Zip player looking to find a little bit of space. Cuts back, pass into the middle. But again, a good collapse there by the Blades to take that one away. See what Migo Buna can do again. Feeds it off to Nordsman. Trouble there. A lot of traffic. Santu down low. Passes again. And again, back up towards the point here. Tonski to Migo Buna. Can't get that shot off. Just way too much traffic. A surprising play out there by Monkeyhead. The defense having trouble adjusting to that play. Risky move here. Still really not able to recover. Monkeyhead has it again. He'll be forced pretty much to dish that one out. And let's see if Kova can settle it down. And indeed, it looks like the Blades will back off a little bit. Turnover here. Good interception by the rookie Santu. Follow-up pass into traffic, though. 6 minutes gone. Good pressure there by Santu. Showing off a bit more of his defensive abilities. So that one's knocked loose, but still up the ice. Zip player throws one on, and a good stop there by Kazu. Again, back down low. Vera tried to throw that one on. Takes a huge hit for his trouble. As Nordsman, good job there. Good patience on the breakout. Let's see what Tonski can do. Trying to work his way into the attacking zone. Around the back for Migo Buna. Santu, again back to the centerman. Migo Buna looking. Finds Dillinger and again. Tries to feed Santu across. It's just not there. They keep going to the well and coming up dry. Chance for Kova now. Dished around by Yaraks. Chance for Zip player to get in. Even with the smaller build, the physicality nearly paying off. The Blades. You see those repeated drop passes to try and find space. Loose puck here. Fought on for. Chest in front of the crease. It'll be picked off by Pottsburg. Kova settles this one down. Just under 9 minutes to go now. And a lot of neutral zone play here yet again, but you never know when a chance can develop. Chance here, Dillinger's shot. Blocked down, great job there by Pottsburg. Looks to lead the rush the other way. And again, it's knocked loose. Incredible end-to-end action right now until that. An offside call with 7:31 to go.
Yeah, great job from Vera with that defensive skill stick, kind of, banking on perhaps that play, but mostly just trying to cut off the angle on the boards. But it was that self-sauce to gain speed. But with that, it was Vera's stick able to kind of disrupt that puck and put them offsides right there. Great recovery from that center.
Chance here once more for the rookie center in Vera, not able to hold on to it. And a delayed call here on Kova. So Rusty Blades will get their first man advantage of the season. We only saw one power play in the first game, and it was capitalized on by Kova. Puck touched up, and a big chance here for Rusty Blades.
Yeah, right as Kazu got to the bench, the story of every single goaltender that they can relate to on delayed penalties. Right as they get to the bench, the other team will touch the puck, but we'll see what they can do.
Big stop there early on by Monkeyhead off the chance from Igo Buna. Held in the attacking zone. Knocked loose, though. Good double team pressure, and Pottsburg is able to send that one all the way down. Let's see what the breakout kind of looks like here for Rusty Blades on the man advantage. They've had trouble staying on side, but they do gain the zone there with Nigo Buna. Around the back for Dillinger. Pressured, recovered, Santu the shot. Good job there to take that one. Not able to find the back of the net, but a better save, of course, from Monkeyhead. Turned over here once more, and Zip Player will send that all the way down. So a good look, but still not able to find the back of the net. We get closer and closer to being back to 5-on-5. Again, they gain the zone here. And indeed, the man's out of the box. Nigo Buna quickly, and again, Nordsman just not having, I guess, that situational awareness in that moment with the man coming out of the box. Back to 5-on-5. Kova in possession with under 2.5 to go, although not for long. The Blades will look to lead things back here again, down and around, hitting Dillinger on the far side. Quick movement back to the point. Tonski kind of pressured into a shot. Great recovery, though, and a good chance again for Santu on the doorstep. Just not able to find his first elite goal.
Yeah, and you saw it, each person who got the puck there kind of delayed before that decision was made, almost seeming like they didn't know if they were going to get that puck in that situation. Kind of gave the goaltender time to adjust.
Trouble there with the traffic in front. Another chance of Santu. Willing to let these shots go. That backhand missed wide. Final 20 seconds here. The Blades still in possession. One-timer blocked down. Loose puck again. Tried to pass it over to Santu. Just not able to find its way through. 2 seconds here. And again, Zip Player with a little bit of space at the end of the period, but not enough time to work with. We go to the third in a scoreless game. Maybe not what I would have expected.
Yeah, maybe not so much, but I think, Rusty Blades, at least defensively, have done a much better job collapsing in that slot. They're not letting, the Kova kind of get what they were getting before in that first game, which was sneaking a guy low into that, into that low slot and getting themselves into a good scoring position. But I'm going to keep reiterating it. Rusty Blades, I mean, they got some shots there, definitely. But when they came, the only really chance I saw where they seemed to be all on the same page right there with where they're going in the zone, with where that shot was going to be taken, was at the end there, that D-to-D pass with the one-timer, when they had a player or two in front looking for deflection, looking for the rebound. Other than that, it's been kind of, almost seems like touch and go for them on the offensive side of things, which isn't a good feeling when you don't feel like you're all on the same page.
A return over there. Let's see who can get that first goal. Nigo Buna gets floored again. The golden helmet signifying the team's leading point getter also puts a target on your back, Sin, as it would appear. He has been absolutely rocked on a couple of occasions. As it'll be Kova back in possession. They try the quick out. Zip Player. Nice defense there by Tonski, the captain, shutting things down against his opposing captain. This puck's dumped in. Nigo Buna looks to give chase. Not much help there. Santu late to the party. Not able to get a stick on that one. Knocked loose again. And it's Tonski feeding, again, the rookie D partner he now has in Nordsman. As we talked about that a lot today already. The effect that the rookies will have, not just on these two teams, but others. As Santu nearly found his first elite goal, he's done a much better job of being willing to just let the puck fly when he has these opportunities. Not a bad idea if you're the Rusty Blades lineup right now, based off of how that first game went. But a turnover there from Nigo Buna. Kova says, well, yeah, if you can turn it over, I can turn it over too. As things slow down a little bit here, but trouble on the breakout perhaps.
Yeah, definitely an awkward D-to-D pass right there behind the net led to a loose puck, and if Kova was kind of prepared and on the forecheck there, that could have led to a turnover, but just seeming more communication issues for the Rusty Blades here.
Again, it's Kova back in possession. Good poke check out, though, by Nordsman. Just over 11 minutes remaining here in the third period. Again, a goalless game so far. It was a 2-1 finish in that first game. An offside call here with 10:27 to go. Looking to see in that first goal could be the winner.
Yeah, absolutely. At this point, I mean, with the way this has gone, I mean, every single goal will be huge right now. It just depends on who can get that first goal, really put the stranglehold on the series. It may come down to a bounce, but I'm sure at this point, both of these teams will take it. You want that good start on the season. Kova already has that one win. Looking for that second one here.
Rusty Blades, though, back in possession for the moment. Gaining the line with Dillinger. He'll send it down low for Migo Buna. Immediately swarmed, but he holds on to the puck. Quickly dished back to the point off a series of passes. Tonski, you can tell, wants the boards. Gets it to Migo Buna. The shot and a big stop there by Monkey Head. Another chance for Migo Buna. Down low to Dillinger, and again back to the point. Good quick movement, the one-timer for Migo Buna. May have deflected off of the legs of Vera. Might not have gotten the majority of the heat on that one. But Sin, much better from Rusty Blades here.
Yeah, definitely better puck movement, a little bit more systematic in where they were going with that puck, where they wanted the shot taken. But Kova Esports, in the same breath of doing a great job of keeping him to the outside.
There's a chance there for Dillinger taken away. Good defense by Pottsburg. They gain the line here. Let's see what Kova can do. Chance for Zip Player, rifled one across. Nobody on the receiving end of that one. Again, Rusty Blades looking to lead it back down the other way. Somewhat exciting game here, given the scoreline at this stage. Good poke check there, though. But he'll play it off in open space. Good job there, I'd say. Just to maintain possession, all things considered, probably would have walked into double coverage. A chance now, 4 minutes left. Yerax drops back to, again, the teammate he's had for the last couple of games, to say the least, all of last season. Another chance here for Rusty Blades, though, taken away. Pottsburg has been very impressive defensively. It's one thing that stood out for me. Known as a defenseman that could put up points in pro, hasn't exactly looked out of place here against the competition. 2 minutes remaining here. Pottsburg will send it around the back to Sockham. Next goal is most certainly going to win this one. Will it take overtime, though, as the pass from Yarax just not able to find Pottsburg. Final minutes of regulation here. More passes off the mark. Yarax just not allowed to pass to his left defenseman, apparently. So whatever you do, don't have Zip Player swap wings later on this season. That's an omen to go off of, apparently. Here are the Rusty Blades, though, in the attacking zone. Santu can't weave his way through double coverage. Good pass there around Dillinger. One more chance again. Zip Player not able to work his way through. It's a matter of who's going to be able to weave their way through that one time. That's all it's going to take. Dillinger in possession. Down low, moved in front. Way too much traffic for Migo Buna to navigate through. And here comes the pass, and he scores! 14 seconds to go. Vera and Yerax connect again. And will that be the winner, Sin? What a goal there from the former Nordic Stars duo.
It absolutely could be, and 60-something% of the chat right now is punching the air, predicting overtime, and the connection. Vera and Yerax once again getting it just by that left pad right there. What a play. Vera with the double kind of self-sauce right there to gain that speed. Yerax kind of shooting the gap between the defenseman Nordsman and Tonski. A little bit of space, and he's able to bury that. That left-handed shot was huge in that situation.
One more chance for the Blades here to walk away with points. Tonski across just off the mark. 6 seconds to go. Another chance. Nordsman shot. Loose puck. Chance misses wide. What an opportunity. That close to tying it was Dillinger. But no dice for the Rusty Blades. Kova 2-0 on the season to start. Said it was that close to overtime.
Oh man, I almost ate my own words right there. It would have been me punching the air because Dillinger just shoots it wide on about, let's say, 1/3 of an open net right there. He had that corner, he had that side, just didn't bury it right there. That is a heartbreaker for Rusty Blades, almost getting themselves a point. It feels bad, man. I mean, getting scored on with about 15 seconds left and then having that kind of a chance in the dying seconds and missing it wide. I think we've all been there as NHL players, and it hurts every time it happens, but it's just the way things fall right there. Kova Esports winning this game 1-0 with a late heartbreaking goal and taking the set here 2-0. That's harsh. That's really harsh if you're Rusty Blades, but you got some stuff to work on, definitely. And Kova Esports, while that second game wasn't as good, I think you can definitely make the argument that they were the better team, maybe just slightly in that second one, but they were the better team throughout the course of this 2-game set.
Again, the Blades with the possession time, as you see, the face-off advantage as well to Migo Buna, but it's Kova who's able to find the back of the net, as Sin said. 14.9 on the clock with that goal. So close to overtime, though, with that chance from Dillinger. It just doesn't fall that way. A great way to start the season for Kova. Again, the doubts over how strong they would be as a team that missed out last year, but so far, so good. The end of the day as well, Monkeyhead getting a shutout in just his second game of the season. Only one goal allowed by him, when the thought might have been that he would be the 1B goaltender behind Finceres 1A. Well, maybe not so much. Maybe we have another developing goalie controversy there. At the end of the day, a good starter no matter what. Sin as well for Kova. A great debut, in my opinion, for Pottsburg. On the defensive side of things, certainly didn't look out of place on that left-hand side. But the big story, I'd have to say, is up front. That addition of Vera and Yarax from the Nordic Stars. Again, they've had the last 3 seasons worth of experience together, and I think it showed. 2 elite rookies with a very strong debut here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Zip player, we talked about it a bit in that pregame show, not afraid to make the changes necessary, maybe coming off as a little bit harsh, but he's a guy who knows what he wants in the lineup. And, first impressions, Vera Yarax, great additions. Pottsburg, a great addition. These are dynamic players. They made it work. They got the job done, and it looked good so far here early on for Kova Esports. Now, we'll have to see how that translates over the course of the season when they start playing, the on paper, stiffer competition, teams who have been together quite a little bit longer with a bit more chemistry established than the Rusty Blades, but a good confidence booster, I'd say, for Kova Esports, getting that 2-0 here and starting the season off on the right foot.
And again, for the Blades, we knew it would be a tough adjustment period. No mercy shown by Kova Esports. We will see as the season develops how Rusty Blades make the most, or perhaps can't make anything of the late changes to the lineups that they were forced to undergo. So again, Kova Esports now 2-0 on the season. As you get a look here at the goals, the highlight reel, this of course from game 1. And of course, it's Vera and Yarax all over it. Here was the late goal from Migo Buna in game 1, the only goal that they scored. And then here it is, the final play. Starts off with Pottsburg, finds Vera, and again, just the speed down the ice. Couldn't catch Yarax. That would do it for that game. Sin, that'll do it for that quick 2-game set. But of course, we are not done today here in this broadcast. Coming up on the flip side of the break, 2 more games here to kick off the opening day, the opening night of the season. It'll be the newly rebranded Ique squad going up again against the team that fell in the finals last year in Hreds. It's their redemption tour. It kicks off tonight. Excited to see what we're going to see from them. So stick with us. We'll be right back after this short break. All right, and we are back. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with us. The first 2 games of our 12th season here in the ECL are officially in the books, but the journey continues onward. Of course, Tugi here, still with my broadcast partner in Sin. We are getting ready for some more action as the team that gained automatic promotion last year from our pro division, then known as Enigma, now known as IQ, take on the team that fell in the championship round last year in Hreds. I know they're going to hate us bringing that up all season long, but hey, it is probably the main talking point for Hreds at this point to see if they can get back. So we're going to set the stage for you here for our next 2 games of this broadcast. Again, a friendly reminder, Sid and I will be back on Wednesday. More information on that at the end of the broadcast. And of course, on Thursday, our Finnish broadcasters are here as well. So make sure to drop the channel a follow if you have not already done so. ECL action brought to you, of course, by our friends at Viaplay, our friends at Wilhelm, and of course, Kovalan Lakritsi. This season, we thank our partners for being with us here on this journey. That said, Sin, let us take a look first and foremost at the predicted standings that we had from our pre-show broadcast, the season preview, so to speak, as again, our lovely anonymous panel of experts gave their opinion. We aggregated where they thought each team would finish, and this is what they came up with. Will teams take offense to it? Probably, who knows? But at the end of the day, we have IQ on the outside looking in due to, I guess what you could consider a lack of changes. They're one of those teams, Sin, that are very much in the mix to, as we mentioned, outside of that top 5, which you could disagree about the order, those are the top 5 in the elite. That's pretty much no debate. At this stage, it's up to the other teams below them to prove that that's not, in fact, the case. Everybody else, we have no idea. There are some teams where you feel like, okay, they're probably relegation fodder, but we thought that last year about Sawo, and that certainly didn't happen. So you really never know how it's going to pan out, but IQ is one of those teams that has playoff aspirations, and it wouldn't be surprising to see them make the playoffs, of course. For Hreds, though, their opponent, again, very much looking to get back to the championship round, very much looking to walk away with the title this year. We'll take a look at the team matchups here, Sin, and I want to know for you, obviously, with the expectations for these two, obviously no stats to go off of right now, but a look at the logos at the very least. Always a chance for our lovely graphics team to show off what they can do. We'll go to the team lineups and we'll take a look at IQ or I guess both teams there. There we go. We'll take a look at IQ here in a moment. It's perfectly fine. In fairness, this is actually what I wanted the first time. But at the end of the day, you look at these teams, and it's interesting to note, of course, that for the IQ lineup, this is the squad that got them up to this division. Again, one of the few promoted teams to not really make any changes, whereas for Hreds, we see some big changes, particularly down that left-hand side and in goal.
Yeah, and, Villapoika, we mentioned it, he's got some big shoes to fill with Yoki kind of, moving on, and Domi, same kind of story, but he can be a very dynamic player in the playoffs. I mean, we always mentioned him, didn't quite have the points to show for it in the playoffs, but he was really driving play a lot of times down that left-hand side, and I think that'll complement King of Apes extraordinarily well because, as we mentioned, I mean, King of Apes, an incredible scoring defenseman. I mean, goal scorer, he was even, on pace with some other forwards throughout the ECL Elite, and, I mean, how can you say no to a Rookie of the Year in net? FaZe was absolutely phenomenal and it was really standing on his head at times in the playoffs. So, IQ's got their work cut out for them here. A tough situation to get into, but as you mentioned, they do have, the lineup. They didn't really have any changes, so they at least maybe perhaps got that chemistry going for them.
So with that, let's take a look at the IQ lineup here. Of course, as it is presumed. And we start off on that left-hand side with the captain of the squad, Niepi, again back in this division for the first time since Season 9, a proven point scorer in this division. But he is next to 2 elite rookies in Lehtinen and Santari on that right-hand side. Both of these guys, again, could have been elite players. Santari the last 4 seasons down in pro. Lehtinen, of course, last season we thought he would be an elite. He had gained promotion with the former Dark Horse squad, but elected to sign up with this team, stick it out in pro, and now perhaps he's with the lineup that he feels like can gain that consistent spot, have that consistency in this elite division. Of course, on defense, it is the same pairing as well that they had last year. Make Axel dropped down from the elite division. He was in elite back in season 10. He drops down to pro last year and quickly finds his way back up. Nico, though, an elite rookie with only 2 seasons of pro experience, so we'll see how it works out for him. And in goal, it is Pirza. I mean, at the end of the day, another guy who you would expect to see some big numbers from, but he is an elite rookie as well. So we'll see what happens with that starting lineup, and then taking a look at the Hreds lineup as well, because again, we see some changes here, to say the least. And of course, the biggest one arguably is up front. Villapoika stepping in after a full season with Vesapampa last year. 22 games in the preseason, 77 points. Again, not exactly the most try-hard of competitions in the world, but could be an omen that perhaps he will fit in very, very well with this team. Of course, you have the captain Benito at center, as we talked about in the pregame show as well. Under the NHL Gamer banner, he is the all-time leading scorer. And Nicky Dangles as well, the face of season 12. You talked about it, Sin. His ability defensively has improved massively. His two-way game is phenomenal at this point. And then you mentioned as well, King of Apes there next to Domi now. Domi was tied for second in scoring amongst defensemen last season with Ippe Vaskala. He joins over. King of Apes led all defenders in scoring last year. And then you mentioned our Rookie of the Year in FaZe, also joining from Vesapampa. It was an incredible run from him, from Neo in Season 10 to Elite last year. Rookie of the Year, and now on a team with championship aspirations. I mean, Sin, it's one of the great things about the start of every new season. You see how the teams have changed. We see the new teams like IQ getting into the league and just seeing how it's all going to play out. And right when you think, I mean, it's the old saying, right when you think, you know, the answers, the teams change, the questions, the dynamic of the league can change at a moment's notice. You never really know how things are going to play out, but I think at the very least, you would expect Hreds to be back up there. But knowing, you know, the conversations we've had about these two teams, what are you expecting here from the first game of the season for both of them?
You know, it's hard to say, but you know, IQ is gonna be hungry. They're gonna want to solidify and say, you know, hey, we're here, we're a team to take seriously, and what better opportunity to do that than against, you know, Hreds, the runner-up from last season. Now, we talked about it a bit, how, oh, this is a tough, you know, first matchup for IQ, but you know, on the one hand, yes, it is, but on the other hand, if they can make waves, get themselves a split, perhaps a weird upset with, you know, a 2-0 against Hreds, they could, you know, kind of mark themselves as someone that the league has to watch out for. You know, they're going to be wanting to do that. They're going to be hungry to do that. And I like the mentality from them. You talked about it a bit when we were going over the lineups. You know, Lehtinen, a chance to play in elite, decides, you know what, I want to develop a bit more in pro. I want to get with the right squad, and he takes a step back. Make Axel, you know, a season 10 elite player, takes a step back in 11 to get with the right lineup. So it seems like all these players seem to know, well, who they want to play with, and they seem to think that they found that right lineup here, and what a test for them here in this first series against Hreds.
Absolutely. I mean, again, it's one of the tallest tasks I think you could look to have to try and conquer in your first game. I mean, this is the litmus test, right? I mean, if you go up against Philadelphia, if you go up against a Havu and Hreds in the first match day, I mean, again, talk about being thrown to the wolves, thrown to the fire here. I'm intrigued to see. Again, it's a lineup that stayed the same. You get a look there as expected. A lot of puck-moving defensemen, only two playmakers, both at centers. No real surprises there, Sid.
Nope, absolutely not. I mean, this is essentially what we could consider the European meta. You know, the defensemen obviously have 5 less faceoffs at 80 rather than, you know, any type of forward build having that 85 at faceoff. So 2 playmakers in the middle, everyone else a puck-moving defenseman. Similar sizes and weights as well, but, you know, a little bit of discrepancy here and there depending on what stat you want to have boosted up balance-wise, etc., so forth, or speed-wise, and, you know, kind of standard across the board. So both of these teams kind of understanding, you know, how they want to play. Now it's just comes down to the skill level, the potential skill gap on the ice here, but puck drop just a couple moments away.
Absolutely. So again, we are ready to see how this one plays out. Hreds, guess what jerseys they're wearing? I don't think we have to exactly cover that for you here in this one. Excited to see how the first game of the season goes for each of these two teams. Buckle up. I have a feeling it might be slightly higher scoring, perhaps. I mean, never say never with how this plays out. But I have a feeling it might be slightly higher scoring than the matchup we had seen previously. Game number one between both of the, or for both of these teams. Easy for me to say. And the excitement level's on a different point here. Getting tongue-tied isn't exactly surprising at this stage. It's just good to be back.
Yeah, absolutely. So we see Hreds with the zone entry right there. Nicky Dangles with a spinorama on the blue line to try to open up that middle. Succeeded a bit, but a good job defending it from Ique, not letting them attack the slot.
Sauce pass there off the mark. EASHL able to take that one away. Lehtinen looking to lead it up ice, but ran into a lot of trouble on that breakout, and Hreds back in possession. Something we might be saying a lot of through these two games here. Both of these teams begin their season. Chance down low. Benito's pass off the mark. It's a rarity for him. Let's see what EASHL can do. Loses the puck off the self-sauce. Regains. Finds Nieppe. He banks it off the side of the net. Physical play to try and work it back. But again, Hreds, surprise, surprise, back in possession here. No stick for Villapoika. Or perhaps it was very, very blended in at that moment, perhaps. May have been fooled. Hreds, regardless, in the attacking zone. Puck picked off by Lehtinen in front. And a 3-on-1 developing here. EASHL, a chance across and a big stop there by FaZe. Unfazed by that great chance for Ique early on. And again, with two offensively oriented defensemen, could that be an Achilles heel for Hreds this season? They're still back in the attacking zone. Nicky Dangles working it around with Villapoika. And again, another turnover here. Let's see what Ique can do. Going back down the other way. And again, they'll settle it down. Take your time. Why not, right, son?
Yeah, a bit of a high-flying period so far. You maybe want to settle that down a bit. I mean, it was a great play by EASHL, kind of cutting across the middle, trying to get that far side, using Sudteri a bit as bait. But yeah, the 3-on-1 sort of slowed down as Lehtinen didn't quite have the speed of the back checkers. They took away that middle option, which helped a lot for FaZe to sort of read that play. He had to trust his defenseman to cover Santeri and kind of just play that shot as best as he could. So great job from the back check of Hreds. But yeah, you mentioned it, perhaps with, two offensively gifted and offensively leaning defensemen, some of those odd man rushes can happen, but good recovery from them thus far.
Hreds back in the attacking zone for the moment. Saw Benito there trying to pressure. Ique, though, still in possession, looking for their opening goal of the season. Rough turnover there. See what Hreds can do back in on the attack. Villapoika has it, trying to fend off the pressure. Has Domi with him. Down low, Nicky Dangles holding on to it. Finds Villapoika. Shot from the point there for Domi. Doesn't find its way through. Domi again throws one on. Big rebound. Scrambled on. And held by Ique for the moment. So again, they'll look to slow things down once more. Doing a good job of fending off the pressure. It was a good save as well by Pirza. They time it well at the line for the moment. It is called offside.
Yeah, a little bit of an unfortunate situation right there where your player just doesn't seem to want to hold the puck on the right side of the blue line there, so you feel for Ique a bit. But Hreds, I really like their puck movement in the offensive zone. Neither defenseman afraid to shoot the puck, and you saw the swarming, the deflection opportunity, and his Villapoika cutting across looking for the rebound.
Chance here again for Hreds on this breakout. Good quick movement. They gain the line. Villapoika for Benito. Back again. Almost too quick to call. It's Ique back in possession once more. Nicky Dangles. Great job to knock that one loose. Villapoika for Benito. In front to Nicky Dangles. He starts the play. He ends the play. The face of the season as the opening goal for Hreds.
Yeah, and we mentioned it, just how much his two-way game improved, and that's not only a plus on the defensive end of things, but you saw it right there on the forecheck, forcing that turnover and then jetting to that slot. A great play down low from Villapoika and Benito is the one who kicked that out front to Nicky Dangles, who got just the step on the defenseman he needed to have that shot on the goal. Makes no mistake, buries it, and it's 1-0 here, Hreds at the end of the first.
A big opening goal there for Hreds. It can happen that fast when you have a team this talented with the movement that they possess. Good job there, though, by Nieppe to knock that one loose. We'll see how the former Enigma squad, again, automatically promoted from our pro division last year. We'll see how they respond to that. A lot of trouble there in the neutral zone, trying to settle it down. Santari nowhere to go. Held in by Make Axel. Trouble, and a trip is drawn. Flying through the air. And a power play chance here for IQ.
Yeah, huge chance to get back into it. Hreds maybe a bit too aggressive there at the blue line. Too many sticks going to those bodies. We'll see what the IQ can do here. They get the possession.
Okay, Axel down for Layton and trying to hold on to it. Trouble there. Nicky Dangles. Good job to get that pass out. It's cleared, but it's going to be into the... No, It is over. It looked close. There wasn't a sign of a delayed call. A penalty taken by Domi. 5-on-3. A rarity to say the least. Hreds undisciplined.
Really uncharacteristic and unforced error right there. IQ, not a bigger chance. They got to score right here.
He wasn't pressured either. He just felt the need to flip. Chance on the doorstep. Still fought on for. Another shot broken down. Ooh. Backhand on. And FaZe makes the stop as time expires. Hreds do walk away from the opening period with the 1-0 lead. The goal from Nicky Dangles, but they could be in a little bit of trouble here by the, in the start of the second period. I'm still stunned by that. 5-on-3 coming up still.
Yeah, we both said it. Unforced error coming out from Domi. Perhaps not something that we expect to come out from him, but it happened, and now, Hreds have got to deal with that 5-on-3 and kill it here at the end of the period. But luckily for them, they do get the opening face-off in center ice. That makes it a bit easier to kind of, kill off the penalty, but IQ with that two-man advantage, got to be aggressive, got to try to get that puck back. But I think at the end there, Nieppe with that backhand shot, I think got caught in a buffered shot. He had the option to kick it back out front for that pass, but, with the bouncing puck and everything, just unable to kind of execute on that. But they get possession and enter that zone quick.
Still over a minute to work with here on the 5-on-3 man advantage. Layton. Back to Make Axel. Loose puck still on the doorstep. Scrambled, fought off for. And FaZe stands tall on the goal line. It's in the confidence. He's just statuesque. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, zero sophomore slump coming out from FaZe. Nieppe tried to wait him out, but he just looked at him, stared him down, and made the save.
Still back in the zone here. Santari tried to throw that one across. Again, the puck turned over. 10 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Nicky Dangles has it here. He'll send it out. 25 seconds to go on Domi's delay of game penalty. And a good hit there. Layton not able to hold it in. Trying to fend off the pressure, but he can't. And a penalty is called as well. How do you like that? Hreds going to go to the man advantage here. Let's see how it plays out. We do have an AI skater out there. As the puck still not touched up, this one's going to go all the way back down the other way. Hreds still in possession here. The chance for Benito. Back to Nicky Dangles in front. And somehow, some way, we end up with an Hreds power play out of all of that.
Yeah, what a wild ride it's been. But, if they can score here, it's going to feel like a huge missed opportunity. But Hreds, they have a tremendous amount of set plays.
Off the draw, in control for the moment, but turned over. Nicky Dangles has it around the back. Finds Villapoint. Good point! What a bomb! King of Apes opens up the campaign with a goal. Last year's defensive leader in point scoring does what he does. That was a beauty. My God, what a shot.
Oh, yeah, a howitzer of a shot from the point, picking that corner just perfectly, but how about the play down low? Nicky Dangles protecting the puck, the quick pass out to, I believe, that's Villapoika who kicks it back across the slot. We've seen him make those quick passes quite a few times, but none better than that one. That was a perfect time to do it, and King of Apes, what a shot, and I feel like we've said that so many times for him. I'm going to have to take a look at his build and apply it to mine, because my goodness, he just finds a way to score time after time again. 2-0 here from Hreds. And we said it. If they're able to capitalize on that power play, it's going to feel like a missed opportunity for IQ. And now they're down 2-0 here in this first game.
5 minutes gone. A crazy turn of events to kick off this second period. Hreds backing on the attack, and he snipes it. What a shot by the captain, Benito. 2-for-1 special. It's now 3-0 for Hreds.
Yeah, and if you wanted a higher scoring series, you got it right now. A bit lopsided right there as Pirza gets sniped once again. Not a terrible position, but it's just, it's the time and space that those Hreds players have to pick the spot. I mean, it's the last one a bit more forgivable as a quick, bang play, but that one, Benito all alone there, not really being pressured too much, has all the time in the world to pick his corner. It's 3-0 from Hreds, and it's fallen apart quickly here for IQ.
I mean, that's really tough for Pirza, all things considered. You see quick movement, and all of a sudden, on the next offensive chance, someone takes the shot. Very difficult to deal with, Sim.
Yeah, and now we're seeing IQ kind of trying to, force the play, make something happen, getting caught skating around here, and Hreds having their way in the offensive zone. Oh, and as soon as they could perhaps get the zone entry, a bit of frustration there, blasting the puck after the whistle. They go off sides. The last thing you want trying to come back in this one and get some momentum for your team is that whistle. Hreds will take it. We'll see what they got here. Tie-up play, and they get possession.
Here we go, Hreds. Let's see what they can do. Now up 3-0. It was 1-0 at the start of the period. They were down on a 5-on-3. Nicky Dangles back to the point. Big save by Pirza. Dangles again. Sauces that one through. Villapoika has it, and again, you can see the quick passes from Villapoika. Something else right now, Sim.
Yeah, absolutely, and something that he is going to want to utilize definitely with the way this team likes to play, but he's got to be careful overpassing at times. A bit earlier, he had a good shooting opportunity. He passed it, created that turnover, but I think that's something that's just going to come with time with him playing with these guys, figuring out his role, and it's working out for him so far. 3-0.
Great pressure there in the neutral zone. IQ still in possession, though. 9 minutes remaining here in the second period, looking to open up the scoring account. Trying to maybe work their way back into this one. A loose puck finds its way to Nico. Down low in front, loose puck again bouncing around. And those early chances they had on phase must be haunting them at this stage. Chance here, what a pass off the side of the net. The feeds from Villapoika. I mean, man, any concerns? You might have had a great chance there as well on the other side. Pirza able to hold that one off. Villapoika throws one on. Great pressure there. We talked about the idea of losing last year's leading scorer in Ique. A turnover here, though. Benito tried to go back to the point. It was picked off by Santari. Here's Nicky Dangles. Finds Villapoika again. Another shot on. Not afraid to throw those on. I like the idea. He passes a lot, but he'll throw it on. Another stop by Pirza. What pressure from Hreds. IQ nowhere to go in the neutral zone. Great defense there by King of Apes. Here's Domi. Again, quickly back in on the attack. Benito to the point. Again, back down to the captain in front. Loose puck behind the back of the net now. One of these days, I'll be able to get that point out about Ique. One-timer deflected in front. Incredible that IQ are holding on. Point being, any concerns about Villapoika might have already been taken away, Sin. I mean, it's tough to replace Ique, last year's leading scorer. He's, it's a perfect fit right now, seemingly. As this one held in. Domi, down low to Nicky Dangles, again to Benito. That pass intercepted, and Pirza will be forced to cover.
Yeah, if you're wondering if Hreds was perhaps going to lose a step with some of the changes they made, I mean, early looks, it's not looking like they've lost a step at all. They're looking incredibly strong here as they, again, force that middle. The passes are crisp. The chances, they're shooting at almost the right time, 100% of the time, and they've got the goals to show for it.
One more chance here. 3 seconds, pass off the mark, and that will bring us to the end of the second period for IQ. It went from okay to absolutely horrific. A 5-on-3 power play to start the period. And as you can see there, Sin, it was all Hreds up 3-0 now. 11 shots to 1.
Yeah, and that is about as dominant as it gets, and we kind of saw the sort of mental effects that was having late here. You wonder about a team, kind of, making their way into this division. How are they going to handle the pressure? Well, in the second period, we already saw Pirza. He threw the puck out when he had it covered, perhaps, alluding to just a bit of frustration from him wanting to create something, help his team get back into it. The problem was that led to sustained offensive pressure from Hreds. We saw the same thing. Make Axel had a chance for perhaps an Omaha to throw that puck down. Instead of slapping it, went with just a kind of a wrist shot there, and it led to yet more sustained pressure from Hreds. So you kind of wonder about the mental side of things here for IQ as Hreds have this 3-0 lead and are absolutely dominating the pace of play so far.
Here Comes IQ, though, into the attacking zone. Down low, back and front. What a chance there. Intended or not. Good Lord, what an opportunity. But again, still can't find the back of the net. Pinch in there for Ique. 3-on-1 developing. Space pass holds up, and it just wasn't the pickup he needed on the receiving end of that pass. Hreds still in on the attack. Nicky Dangles not able to find that pass around the back of the net. Chances for both sides. We're still at 3-0 here for Hreds. Another chance. Shot, a big stop by FaZe on the backhand. Doing what he does best. Last year's Rookie of the Year. And I think you can see why. Opportunity pass across. Nicky Dangles just couldn't get to that one. Still in the attack, though, is Hreds. That's off the goaltender's skate here. IQ just trying to find some space to work with. For Hreds, though, it's very, very tough. They try the quick out. Domi all over that one. Chance here. Villapoika off the side of the goal. What a chance there. I mean, right now, Hreds has the answer to everything that's being thrown their way. We'll see if we jinx it as the Epi threw one on. Has it again. Here's the captain, not able to weave his way through. It's 8 minutes gone now already. Here in this third period, 3-0 in favor of Hreds. Villapoika having trouble there over the line. Again, a scramble for the puck. IQ able to come up with it. Ique looking to weave his way through, and he did for the moment. Stumbled at the last second. An unfortunate break for him. Comes Hreds again. Nicky Dangles, and just mistimed at the line with Benito. 9:41 to go here in the third.
Yeah, IQ's in a bit of scramble mode right there. Ique looking to make something happen. He had a pass over to Santeri on the right-hand side of the ice. Opted not to take it to try to force his way through. Almost worked out, but kind of stumbled his way. Great pass up the boards, but guess who's there? King of Apes to break that one up.
Chance here perhaps for Benito to the backhand. A big kick save by Pirza. IQ, though, with a delayed call. Puck, though, in possession still. Nicky Dangles to Villapoika. Another chance. He just couldn't hold on to it, but we will see the Hreds power play go back to work here after an interference call. Ique taking a seat.
Yeah, Villapoika, a couple of rough pickup animations away from a goal right there. That one again, he kind of, got caught in an animation on that short side. Pirza was not kind of lost, but it was a weird bounce for him to adjust to, and there was a tiny bit of space for Villapoika to perhaps put that one home on the short side, but they get a power play nonetheless.
High up on the draw, Hreds come up with it. King of Apes stepping in. Chance here perhaps for Villapoika. Banks it off the back of the net to Nicky Dangles. Poked away into the opposite corner. Double team pressure. Hreds come up with it. Benito looking. Back to the point. D-to-D scores! The quick movement pays off. Domi has his first goal as a member of Hreds. It's now 4-0.
And Hreds are doing something that we haven't quite seen a whole lot of in this season, maybe even last season right there. When that puck is behind the net, as defenders, you expect it to be kicked out to either one of the wingers in the corner, perhaps to cut across for that short side. But look what they've done. This is the second time they've done it. Kind of kick the puck back to the point right there. King of Apes feeds it over to Domi, who blasts it home on that short side, goes for that short side instead of the far side, saying that he believes in his shot to beat Pirza, not going to think he's oversliding, going for that far side. It pays off. 4-0. Both defensemen getting on the board for Hreds, and you can pretty much stick a fork in this one. Hreds looking way too strong for a 4-goal collapse here in the third period, but crazier things have happened.
There's a reason why some people think, oh man, that one goes all the way through the blue paint. There's a reason why some people think that Hreds will finish this regular season as top dogs. We'll see what happens as this plays out, but this has been a very impressive debut performance. Here comes Nicky Dangles all alone. He scores on the backhand. Waits out Pirza. They just keep pouring on the pressure. What a play there. Nicky Dangles has a goal.
And he just continues to get better. We were not going to see it in the replay, but you know why that puck is going back that way? Nicky Dangles' play on the blue line. He jumps in there with that defensive skill stick, knocking it loose. It's Villapoika making that recovery, and Nicky Dangles wanting to attack there, gets himself on the breakaway. We're seeing kind of what happened and what led to that a bit, but just a great pass from a Villapoica to feed Nicky Dangles. Makes no mistake, 5-0. We've talked about it so many times. The good teams, the great teams, they do not let their foot off the gas pedal. Hreds has not done that throughout the course of this game, and Ique, it's just a rough one to start off, kind of demoralizing here, but we'll see if they could perhaps get a goal here, a building block for the second game in this 2-game set.
Welcome to the Elite Division here, boys. And a shot, he scores! Villapoica finds a way to put that one through. It's been a very, very impressive debut for him. It just keeps going from bad to worse.
Yeah, and it's more and more evidence mounting. Yes, it's early on, but chat, you may be onto something. Could this be the #1 seed? Of course, there's going to be a couple teams in Philadelphia and Nahavu who will have something to say to that, but Hreds.
Yippee Voskala as well, perhaps.
Oh, I mean, you could throw a couple more names in there. Yippee Voskala, Fariestad. It's wide open here. This is going to be potentially the most exciting ECL season we've seen. Let's just call it the Summer Slam. I'm liking that.
Opportunity for Santari, not able to pull the trigger. He looks for the pass. Here's Villapoica again. Supreme confidence for him. Benito just couldn't feed that one through. Again, the questions surrounding Villapoica, it wasn't a matter of, oh, he's not an effective elite player. He is. But the standard of joining one of our top teams, I mean, whether or not this is him playing up to the level of his teammates or if this was there the whole time, doesn't really matter. This has been, although he gets completely rocked there, this has been a fantastic debut for Villapoica. Domi as well gets redemption from that penalty, gets on the board. He has it here now as we are in the final minute. Villapoica again, a big stop by Pirza. Again, for Ique, and we'll talk about it, not the not the best performance here, but different expectations for different teams heading into a season. Again, we'll cover that in the between games, as it is one King of Apes playing that one out. Domi is with him. What a performance here from Hreds. Puck dumped in. Villapoica looking to chase that one down and does. Couldn't get the pass in front. 10 seconds. Shot scores! Nicky Dangles has another one. The cover boy strikes again. Hreds pouring it on here. Goal differential might be a factor. Who knows? It's a hat trick for Nicky Dangles. What a start to the season.
What a statement from this Hreds squad. I mean, the goals that they're scoring coming from a lot of different people, but not just that, coming from many different play types. They're finding ways to make it work from all corners of the ice, and that's scary. If you're another team looking at where they're scoring these goals, it's not like they keep going back to the well, doing a few things, forcing these passes through. 2 goals from the point. Some plays out there, a breakaway play, and right there, Villapoica still hungry, trying to self-sauce to get the edge, get the breakaway here, and if you're Ique, you're just at that point calling mercy a little bit, trying for one more shots. Faze a little bit of a stat boost there with another save, but getting himself the shutout in this one. It's 7-0 Hreds. Yikes, what a win for them.
Every single player with at least a goal on the board. Nicky Dangles with the hat trick. You see the stats there. Good passing for Ique. Just couldn't translate. That was a championship caliber performance from Hreds. Now, again, say what you want, it's against a newly promoted team and not one of the larger, more consistent championship contenders that we have in the Elite Division, but that is the type of performance that you need to have against a team that's on a fringe playoff run this season. It's going to be incredibly close at the top of the standings in terms of the point totals. You can really only afford to slip up once, maybe twice, maybe this season, maybe not at all. An incredible performance there, all things considered, for Hreds. And Sin, we will continue to blow some smoke here in their direction. I want to go through their lineup before we get to talking about Ique and what they might be able to do for Hreds. Let's start off with Villapoica. How worried are we? How worried are we after that performance? I mean, that was one of the biggest questions. Again, we talked about it. Yoki leaving, departing 4-1 Yippee Voskala, last year's leading scorer in the Elite Division, 7th all-time in terms of NHL gamer point totals. Villapoika, though, I mean, 38 points last year with Vesapampa. I can't help but think he's going to, surpass that total.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with a start like that. What do you have? 5 points even? It's ridiculous. What a start for them. And Nicky Dangles, we talked about it a bit. He improved so much defensively, but he took a step back offensively. Now, and the question going into here was, can he put 2 and 2 together? And can he really get both sides of that puck going? I saw it happen. We saw it happen here in this first game. He played great defensively, but not only that, he turned that defense into offense on more than one occasion. He held the puck in on the line, got himself a goal out of it. From the low, cycle down low from Villapoika and Benito, Nicky Dangles went to the slot after forcing the play at the blue line. The second one on his defensive blue line, forced the turnover. Villapoika got the play. Nicky Dangles read it, got himself on the breakaway, and capitalized. That's exactly what you need. I mean, it's great to play good defensively, but if you can turn that defense into offense, you have a scary player on your hands. Watching Nicky Dangles, his development here has been nothing short of superb, and he's continuing to get better, which is a very scary prospect for any other team involved. I mean, to see an already dominant player, the face of ECL 12, getting even better, watch out.
I mean, Sin, you said it. We've been here for a couple of years now, and we're very thankful to still be here, of course, but the development of Nicky Dangles, were you here? I think, he joined the league at 16, 17, gets into the Elite Division, and people are like, watch out for this kid. We said it as much. Watch out for this kid. The development of him as a superstar in this league is undeniable at this point. And to speak to Benito as well, as the captain of this squad, he is as dangerous as ever. If you were looking to say, okay, is that a front three that can still challenge for a title? I mean, I wasn't doubting it. There might have been some people who were. I can't help but think those people are pretty quiet after a performance like that. But again, we'll see how things continue to play out this season. Before moving on to IQ, though, I do want to mention with IQ, again, recently promoted team. It's the type of team that has their eyes on trying to make the playoffs. You have to view this from those different perspectives because the optics are different for each team. For IQ, I guess you could view it if you wanted to as well. They just got absolutely destroyed. But again, title contenders, playoff hopefuls, everybody else, the teams that are hoping to stave off relegation, you gotta factor in where these teams are right now in terms of, I guess, their development as a squad.
Yeah, and expectations.
Right. So for IQ, I mean, yeah, that's a tough loss. At the end of the day, I don't think we write them off as saying, well, they're definitely not a playoff team. At the end of the day, they could very well still make it. But for Hreds as well, the other talking points, of course, on defense. We were worried for a little bit, maybe with Domi and Apes on defense, that they're two very offensive defensemen. Again, Domi was tied for second in scoring among defensemen last year. King of Apes led that category. I think you saw why as to those players' abilities in that first game. If they can stay solid defensively, at the end of the day, who knows how far Hreds go this year. And at the end of the day as well, it's not as if they had a slouch in goal over the past few seasons. Finn Kona being the man there between the pipes, technically the winningest goaltender in NHL gamer history. Phase. I mean, talk about young superstars in this league. Absolutely incredible. I mean, he made some big saves there. He wasn't pressured the most. I mean, at the end of the day, just 5 registered shots from IQ. But in this game, if you have the confidence that your goalie's going to be able to bail you out at all times, I mean, it's amazing what that does for the confidence of the team in general. Because there was that one moment where FaZe, like you said, just stood down the barrel of a point-blank opportunity, didn't move, no panic, nothing.
Yeah, it might only been 5 registered shots against him, but I would say 2 or 3 of those were A-grade chances. I mean, there's that, the 2-on-1 that developed that could have been a 3-on-1, but a good back check from Hreds negated that, where it was Maki Axel, could have passed over across, but decided to cut across the net. That is not an easy play for a goaltender, to make that save. I don't know if we're going to get a look at it here. Looks like we're getting a look at Hreds scoring there. We're just going over some highlights from the last game here. But yeah, I mean, it's unreal what FaZe has been able to do. For Hreds to pick him up is a huge win for them.
Yeah. So for IQ in this one, I mean, obviously right now the thought is, you want to have as strong of a performance as you can. We mentioned the old litmus test earlier. I mean, this isn't exactly, the easiest way to start off a campaign when the vast majority of your team happen to be rookies to this division. We'll see what type of performance there is. I think obviously it starts in with the idea of, hey, get a goal on the board. We'll see what happens from there. But certainly a way to test yourselves right now against one of the division's best.
Yeah, and we talked about it in the pregame. It was a tough task in front of them, but in that tough task is an opportunity to make a statement. They fell short in that first one and kind of got their what handed to them, but yeah, here's a chance for them to make up for it in this second game, and they're starting off getting that zone entry. We'll see what they can do with it.
Indeed. So as you would expect, of course, Hreds in the white and red. IQ will be going up on your screen once more, and they have an opportunity here early on with the captain, Ique, able to find his centerman. They didn't know where to go, but he does draw the call. So another early power play chance here for IQ. Again, they started off game number 1 in the second period with a 5-on-3, and it fell apart from there. We'll see what happens here, though, as it is Domi taking a seat for the second time in as many games. Actually, it's going to be an interference call on a trip.
No, it's Villapoica. It was an interference call. He meant to hit some guy. Someone else got in his way. Just a bit of a locked on to the wrong player, but a huge opportunity nonetheless for IQ. They didn't capitalize last game, and then obviously Hreds came back and scored on their power play right after that, but we'll see if they can generate some momentum here at least on the man advantage.
I honestly thought that we had a trip from Domi there. I apologize to Domi. Has yet to take his second penalty of this season. So, fair enough there. The replay was a bit odd. It focused on Domi. What can I say? Is IQ not able to gain the zone here? This power play already half over. You see Nicky Dangles rocking the old golden bucket. The team's leading point getter, of course, after a hat trick in game 1. This one is sent all the way down. 19 seconds to go here on the power play. Time for one more rush. We'll see what they can do. They do gain the line. Ique Axel not able to find the extra pass. Nico dishes down low, gets it back. Again, working it to Lehtinen. Back to the point. Ique Axel just high and wide. Great opportunity there, though. We're back to 5-on-5 in quick order. This one kept in by Benito. Nicky Dangles to the point. Good movement here. Villapoica loves working it back to the point. We've seen it. Benito looking to go across. Just off the skates. And a delayed call again on Hreds. That one off the back of a defender. Held in. Opportunity for Ique Axel. Just loses it. It's going to be another IQ power play. It's a tripping call. We don't quite know who's going to the box here yet. It is Nicky Dangles who will take a seat this time out.
Interesting. I didn't quite catch it right there. I still didn't quite catch it right there. Interesting call, but I mean, going to the box nonetheless. IQ, big chance to capitalize once again with the aggressive face-off.
See what they can do here. Ique Axel in possession. Lehtinen again goes back to him at the point. Taking his time down low in front. Tried to find the man, just couldn't do it. Trouble here, though, around the side of the net. Chance for Lehtinen, tried the short side. He gets it back once more. Tried to cut back in front. And we have another penalty call. It is a trip. And this one is going to be against King of Apes.
Wow, Hreds struggling a bit with discipline early on here as a bit of a questionable one right there. He goes to the LB to block that out and looks like as getting up, he kind of made contact with IQ. We'll put that one in the questionable category, but nonetheless, IQ will take all the help they can get. Problem is they're unable to really sustain the pressure right there and get something going. They got to enter the zone quickly here and set up, get themselves a chance.
Really uncharacteristic amount of penalties. You didn't see IQ being able to take advantage of it in game 1. Can they do it in game 2? Another 5-on-3. Who would have thought? Chance here in front on the doorstep. Another shot. He scores! Good things can happen when you get pressure in front. Santari has the opening goal of the season for IQ. His first goal in the Elite Division. They finally were able to take advantage of the power play.
Yep, still going to have a bit of carryover time as well, but I like what they did right there. They're looking perhaps for the cross crease for maybe a cross ice one-timer. It wasn't there. They opt to just go for a jam play, loose puck rebound. Anything can happen. Santori finds it and puts it home. No, tougher phase to stop. He was in good position for it, unable to make the save though. And IQ has their first lead here of this 2-game set.
Indeed, it was scored just in time as well. It kept them on the power play, although that has now expired. We are back to 5-on-5. Maybe an issue that we might see this season for Hreds. I mean, you start to, already the game starts, and for the opposition, you look for potential weaknesses. And we've seen some disciplinary issues so far for this Hreds lineup. As a result, IQ, after getting dominated in that first game, there's really no nice way to put it, they do have the opening goal and the lead. Again, the team that earned automatic promotion. Big kick save for Pierce. Another chance. Nicky Dangles scores. And just like that, we are tied at 1. Nicky Dangles continuing where he left off in that opening game. Might be holding on to the old golden bucket for the majority of this season if he keeps playing like this.
Yeah, and there is just a threat from anywhere on the ice from Hreds. You have to respect that point shot, then the rebound, and Nicky Dangles seemingly coming out of nowhere, unable to be picked up by the IQ defense. A couple guys caught a little bit too high right there, and what else can you say? I mean, Make Axel, it's tough to pick up someone streaking in there, and it's Nicky Dangles once again finding himself in scoring position. Hreds once again making something happen from a seemingly kind of non-threatening play at first. The rebound kicks out, and then all of a sudden, it's a cross crease and a goal, and this game is all tied up.
So a tough break there for IQ, not able to hold on to that lead for more than just a few minutes. Offside call here with 7:42 to go. Again, the second game of 2 between these two. Hreds picking up that dominating victory in game number 1, but IQ showing a little bit more fight in this one. Still got a long way to go here in the final game of our opening night here. Again, our 12th season. You're watching ECL Elite action right here on NHL Gamer. Again, we thank you for joining us. Of course, information coming up on Wednesday and Thursday's broadcasts. A little bit later on here towards the end. Sid and I will be back on Wednesday. Big spin move there by Santori. Ique tried to feed it down low right into the awaiting arms of an Hreds player. Here's Benito. Ends up down low. Nicky Dangles, Villapoica. Chance for Domi. Tried to pick that corner again on the blocker side. Just not accurate with the shot. Chance going down the other way. That one handled excellently by King of Apes. And again, Santori trying to work his way through. Nowhere to go. Hreds really tightening up defensively here. They turn this one over. And let's see what they can do as Lehtinen slows it down. 3 minutes to play now in the first period. Can they work their way over the blue line? They can't. Lehtinen tried a little bit of skill. Still not what they needed to work their way through. Great chance here. Loose puck. Benito's going to recover. Tried to find Villapoica. Chance now. Santori leading the way. Finds Captain Ique. Santori again in front. Don't know if that one hit the net. Great chance there out of nowhere, and that might be exactly what IQ needs. Chance here. Benito. Nicky Dangles just couldn't get a piece of it, but he has it now. Cuts in. Tried the short side. Pierza makes the save. He plays it out. Final 7 seconds. Santori able to get the pass to Ique. Tried to throw one on. Couldn't get through the traffic. And that'll bring us to the end of the first period. A lot more hotly contested 1-1 scoreline. Hreds, the discipline troubles coming back to haunt them.
Yeah, maybe on the PK a bit too much, but when they were on the attack and in uneven strength, they just continue to look like the better team right there. That rush play, Benito almost being able to split the D, but good awareness by him, understanding he wouldn't have done it. Kicked that puck back to the side, avoided the stick of Make Axel and Nico, passed it across to get yet another chance. That's, a very well-experienced play, as we saw on the flip side when Ique had an opportunity to try to break into the zone. Kind of, as you said, went for a bit of that skill move. Didn't quite pan out for them, but I mean, it's you got the tie game if you're IQ, but you scored on the power play. You still haven't been able to put one home 5-on-5, and when the game is being played 5-on-5, Hreds just look like the better team across the board right now. So, maybe that time and attack a bit skewed because of the special teams time. But if you're IQ, you got to keep looking for those positives. Okay, if you can perhaps draw some penalties, you can get more chances on Hreds, more goals on the board, force them to kind of have to play into you. But that doesn't seem to have been a problem so far for Hreds. They're finding offense from all across the board, and none better than Nicky Dangles so far. He has been incredible for Hreds and just continues to get better, continues to produce, and continues to be great. A threat on that back end offensively.
I mean, I will say, too, there, Sin, you saw the passing from IQ through 4 periods of play. It has been incredibly high. They are very effective with the puck. It's just that Hreds defense has been able, of course, to stop them on all but one opportunity. So we'll keep an eye out on that. I mean, maybe not. Well, it's unfair to say, right? They won automatic promotion. They're here for a reason, but maybe not what you would expect to see a team that's been that careful with the puck as a recently promoted team against a team that went to the finals last year, even though, of course, we've seen a lot of changes from the Hreds lineup as Lehtinen again loves that quick deke move, just not able to weave his way through. Here's Villapoika back to the point, quick D-to-D movement. Great job by King of Apes, but he just couldn't hold the line, and it's offside.
A little dangerous right there, going with the D-to-D pass, but good reaction from Domi, King of Apes, trying to hold that zone. But I like what IQ did, understanding that Hreds want to use those defensemen. They're playing a bit of a tighter point, almost forcing that turnover there, getting the offsides, a face-off chance to get that puck in. But Hreds settling it down once again, looking for that breakout.
Again, good possession here. Nicky Dangles tried to go back to the point. Great defense from Nieppe. Just couldn't get the stretch pass to Santari. Better defense there for Hreds. They're back in the attacking zone. Contact. Santari comes up with it. Just trying to fight his way through the traffic is Nieppe. He still has it. What an opportunity. Just brute force your way through. Good things could happen. Required a big stop there from FaZe down the other side.
Yeah, and once again, FaZe making those big stops when necessary. But yeah, playing that north-south game a little bit, just bullying his way towards that net, making it work. But yeah, again, we saw earlier on that led to that rush opportunity of turnover on that point.
A chance there for Nicky Dangles, still alive. Benito trying to shovel it home. Nicky Dangles again. Villapoika scores! 2-1 now in favor of Hreds. Pirza, a little bit of panic perhaps from the netminder. Expecting that extra pass to Benito. Now 2-1 Hreds.
Yeah, and it was a little bit of a bouncing puck that went to Villapoika right there. But yeah, you said it, Pirza trying to cover a bit at 2 places at once, which could indicate a bit of a lack of faith when that puck is down low for his team to stop it. And it kind of makes sense. There's been a lot of plays at Hreds and passes that they've been able to force down low. That's been always one of their strengths and really on display here this season.
Chance now for Benito, not able to hold on to an IQ from 1-0 up to 2-1 down. Still halfway to go here through this game. Long time for things to maybe change up and play out. We'll see. We have a face-off here. 10:45 to go in the second. It's another win for Benito. He has controlled the draw so far. Trouble there in the corner for Nico. Pass in front. Still a loose puck. Out to that right-hand side. Santari will recover. Good quick movement there. The Epi's offside. Now, Sim, we're seeing that a lot from IQ. They get towards the blue line and try one of those quick dekes, and it's just not working to generate space.
Yeah, I mean, it can work at times, but with, Domi, King of Apes, with the experience that they have, they're doing a good job of, not taking a penalty and just kind of cutting off the angle that IQ want to work with. On the flip side, IQ, they're in a kind of a tough situation. We've seen them make the adjustment to play a tighter point to force some of those turnovers, but you do that, you open up down low where Hreds loves to play. They're kind of in a lose-lose situation. Great saucer pass up the middle. Santari almost able to gain that space, but a good job, but penalty drawn. Hreds back on the power play.
As it will be a trip, the captain, Nieppe, will take a seat. And the Hreds power play will go to work, very effective in game number 1. And they get the chance here in this second half of a season opening back-to-back. Now 11-4 on draws for Benito. Nicky Dangles, the one-timer, blocked down. Domi tried to rifle that one home. King of Apes tries to pick a corner, blocked down again. And Lehtinen will send that one down. Good job there by the PK unit.
Yeah, absolutely. A good early movement from Hreds. A couple opportunities, but good job getting in those shooting lanes from IQ.
Hreds back in on the attack. Nicky Dangles. Oof. A little bit more time, that would have been even more dangerous. This one's sent down again. 45 seconds to play now on the man advantage. Nicky Dangles holds on to it. Domi, good movement. Villapoica. Benito draws the trip as well. This is the third 5-on-3 that we have seen already between these two teams. The first in favor of Hreds. I never would have predicted that, but here we are. Crucial face-off, and it's going to be Santari who comes up with it, and he'll send it all the way down, so that will get us back to 5-on-4. So a crucial play there, with Ique coming up with the puck off that draw, but still Hreds back in on the attack. Here's King of Apes. Nicky Dangles has it to Domi. Deflects just high and wide. Opportunity for Benito to still fight for it. Trouble for Lehtinen, but he'll send it all the way down. The Ique PK looking pretty strong here. But anything can happen. Hreds, we know, can score a goal seemingly out of nowhere. Here's Benito down low in the corner. Back to the point. Domi again got through. Big stop by Pirza. Nicky Dangles looking in front. Kick stop again by Pirza. 4:41 to play in the period. 5 seconds left on the man advantage.
Yeah, once they gain that zone, they look just incredibly dangerous. I like Ique. They have been doing a bit of a better job of getting into the way of the shooting lanes, but the middle can still find ways to open up when they're with Hreds. They just such control.
I thought we might have another delayed call there, but we do not. We're back to 5-on-5. Centauri with a little bit of speed. Cuts back. Shot just fired wide for Nieppe. Still in on the attack, though. Lehtinen dishes one in front and banks off a skate. Goes all the way back to the neutral zone. Villapoica tries to chase it down. Good pressure here by Hreds. Now under 3 minutes to play. Quick out. Lehtinen just smothered by the defense of Domi and King of Apes. Nowhere to go. Turned over by Domi, though. He ultimately recovers. It's been his game so far this season. Make a mistake, make up for it. Here's Benito for Domi. Tried to go across to Nicky Dangles. That one's broken up. Benito still fighting for it. Not able to hold on to it there. And a pass intercepted by Domi once more. Breakaway for Benito. Flying poke check, and Pirza has it. Played out. 20 seconds to go now. Incredible pace here to end the second period. ECL nearly weaved his way through. One more chance for Benito. He scores with 2.8 to go. An incredible final minute of play here in the second. And Hreds make it 3-1.
Yeah, the second time that Pirza has been beat on the breakaway on that same glove side. Again, sliding to that right, perhaps trusting his defenseman with that skill stick to sort of be able to cut off that opposite side. Wasn't the case this time, just not quite with the amount of space that he needed. It would have been different had that player been on the forehand on that left-hand side, but since he went to the backhand, the puck was a little more forward than it could have been, and that kind of is what led to the goal right there. Pirza sliding over, thinking he can cover that right-hand side, but Benito making it work. A 2-goal lead here going into the third period. Another late goal.
As you see the shots there, 7-5 in favor of Hreds, but that is, sin to say the least, a back-breaking goal for Benito to get.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's it was two of those plays too where you could see it right there. His stick was so close, and as I mentioned again, had he pulled it to the forehand right there, there would have been some stick-to-stick contact or stick-on-puck contact. Would have kind of knocked that puck loose. We're getting another look at what happened there with the kind of that bouncing puck. Villapoica was able to sneak it through Pirza. He's suffering a little bit back there. I mean, 2 breakaways at the end, makes the save on one with the flying pokes. The other one, trusts that, the skill stick to sort of break it up. Not quite so lucky, and off the face-off Hreds, they're looking for more.
Here's Villapoica down low for Nicky Dangles. Again, back to the point, the very active defensive Hreds. King of Apes not able to hold on to it, dishes it back. Again, Nieppe causing some trouble. But ultimately, this defense able to hold strong. And let's see what Hreds can do on this attack now. It's Villapoica. Stops up, has options. Benito tries to put that one on. It was blocked. Great movement here. King of Apes backhands it just through. Still fighting for it. Benito comes up with it again in front. Villapoica. Good defense from ECL. Nearly turned over by Lehtinen. And indeed, this one will go down for icing as Nico couldn't find the pass.
Yeah, and just the passing displays from Hreds are near perfect. They're sending it to covered guys because they either know they can sneak it through or they're saucing it so it can get through. I mean, Hreds just really looking stronger and stronger as this goes on. Even though they don't have the goal totals from the first one, their passing has been on point. You can kind of see why Villapoica was picked up. His quick passes are really leading to a lot of created space for Hreds on the offensive side of things.
See what happens here on this breakout for Hreds. 3-1. One more goal would certainly end this one. Here's Villapoica back to the point. Benito in front. Villapoica nearly had it. Still fighting for it. Comes up with it. The quick give and go with Benito doesn't work. Nicky Dangles, what a play to step in there. Has it down low. Back to the point to King of Apes. Domi, the one-timer, deflects and a stop. Pirza will play this one out, though. Looking for the quick counterattack. Risky stuff there, as it is offside down the other way.
Yeah, we've seen him do that a few times now. I think we can kind of write off if it's that nerves are being rattled a bit by being down in this game. I mean, this is still a close game. Perhaps that's just kind of how he wants to play. Keep the play moving, keep the rush plays going, and a chance for IQ to kind of make something happen. But they went offsides there, didn't work out.
Yeppy, and a big fly. He took a trip on that one, to say the least. King of Apes will take a seat again for the trip. And a power play again for IQ. The player went flying. We'll see if he's settled back down to earth in time for this power play. Another chance for IQ. And again, perhaps an early Achilles heel for Hreds with these penalties. Not what you would have expected. Niepi tried to settle that down to pick the corner. Held in by Nico. He loses it, but it's sent all the way down. Pirza will play this one. Out to his left, over to Make Axel. Quick chance here for Niepi. Holds off on the pass. Trouble for Lehtinen. Benito comes up with this one. Drops back for Domi and again gets it back before sending it into the zone. 30 seconds to go on the IQ man advantage.
Yeah,
just
not a lot
one
of
goal to show.
Yeah, not a lot of teeth so far on this power play. And Hreds, with that being said...
Tauri draws the Triplos puck and they score! It bounces around, finds its way to Lehtinen. And they're back within one.
Wow.
Just as you say, there's nothing going. Lehtinen finds the back of the net for his first goal in the Elite Division. Let's get another look at that one.
A bouncing puck, and yeah, I was just about to correct myself. That was a great zone entry for them, finding Santeri on that far side, and then, the trip being taken, sort of a bouncing puck. I believe it went off the backside of the guy getting up from the trip, and they score within the last power play too, so they get a fresh 2-minute power play to work with only being down one goal. The deficit more easier to overcome now, and Hreds, yeah, this is really becoming a bit problematic at this point. All these, penalties taken, they've got to be able to clean this up, because that will not fly when you go up against Havu, Färjestad, or Philadelphia.
And again, they score with just enough time left to carry over the power play. Another full 2-minute shot, scores! It goes off of Nicky Dangles. We're tied at 3. It's another power play goal for IQ.
Yeah, and this is what you have to do. You want to make a statement. You want to make a splash here in the ECL Elite. Make other teams pay for their mistakes, and that's what IQ has done. This is the statement they're making right here. They may have gotten blown out in that first game, but right here, right now, they're making the most of their opportunities. A great one-time right there, throwing that puck on the net. Yeah, looks like it went off a leg or something of Nicky Dangles there. Finds its way to the back of the net. Perhaps a bit of a fortuitous bounce, but they'll take it.
Absolutely stunned as we'll see a timeout here. 3 for 5 on the man advantage for IQ. I mean, it's got to be a frustrating goal to give up for sure. It went off the skate of Lehtinen, through his legs off the back of Nicky Dangles.
Wow.
Unbelievable. An unstoppable chance for FaZe unless you get lucky and it gives you the stop. We are tied at 3. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, but that's what can happen. Sometimes games can come down to a bounce. The thing that you want to do is prevent that from being, a deciding factor. The problem with Hreds is they put themselves on the penalty kill so much that they're really hurting their own chances to generate some offense, and now they're almost in a bit of scramble mode. The game's tied up there. You've seen them maybe a bit flustered going off sides right there. IQ, perhaps for the first time, after that first opening goal they had with the momentum again. But we saw what Hreds did last time. They responded quickly, got back on the board. If they do that here, getting the lead back, IQ will be in a rough spot again. They got to be able to build off this momentum right here. Let's see what they do with it.
An incredible turn of events here. Right when it looked done, as FaZe is forced to play that one. Under 8 minutes to go now for IQ. I mean, do you play for the win? Do you play for overtime to secure a point? Who's to say? Nicky Dangles back in on the attack. Has it down low again. Benito looking. King of Apes tried to pick the corner just a little bit wide. Now 6.5 to play. Nieppe crosses over. Santari, a little bit of space, goes for the move, and it's poked away at the last minute. Not afraid to go for a little bit of fanciness. Here's Nicky Dangles joining the rush. He has help. Poked away at the last moment. That was King of Apes pinching in. Benito, I believe, covering for him here at the point. Gotta shout out EA for having those colors be oh so close, because there's only apparently so many colors. We had to have one that looks very similar. Still don't know why we haven't changed that. But anyway, I digress. Here's IQ back in the attacking zone. Taken away by Nicky Dangles. Now 3.5 to play. What a moment this could be here for IQ. Chance here, though, for Domi in front, bouncing around. Nicky Dangles comes up with it. King of Apes in the circle for Benito when he tried on the short side. Pirza was able to kick that one away. Nieppe avoiding danger, but not able to maintain puck possession. 1.5 to go here in regulation. See what Hreds can do now. Trouble at the line. Taken away by Santeri. Not able to work his way past the defender. Turned over, though. Santeri has it, looking for options, and roughed off the puck by Nicky Dangles. Villapoica able to find Benito. 45 now. And a great job to hold the line there by King of Apes in front, bouncing around. Hreds back in possession one more time. Benito in the corner. Villapoica not able to hold on to it. A scramble for the puck. IQ come up with it. And now lead it down the other way. Lehtinen, and he was offside as the pullback happened. 28.7 on the clock, Sin.
What a play that would have been if they held that zone entry right there. Santeri had plenty of space to work with, but just that split second off right there. And we'll see what happens here in the dying moments of this third period. Are we going to see the teams kind of wind it down, looking for that last shot like basketball? Seems to be the case so far with IQ.
15 seconds here for Hreds to work with on this possession. Are we destined for overtime? Here's Villapoica. Again working it around. Nicky Dangles has it down low. Benito not able to get the pass off. Domi the shot stopped by Pirza. One more chance on the doorstep. We are going to overtime here in the second game of the season for both of these clubs. An incredible power play-based comeback for IQ as they earn their first points in the Elite Division.
I love me some power play-based comebacks, I gotta say, but Hreds, I mean, that's what can happen when discipline becomes a factor right there. They played so well, so dominant here, but look at that. 2 of the goals that IQ scored came off those weird bounces, but why did they kind of happen? Because Hreds was putting themselves in rough situations where IQ, just decided, okay, we can throw these pucks on the net, we can see what happens, we have, man advantage right here, and, especially with that delay of penalty, kind of everyone will be pressing for offense at that point, and they have a tie game. They got themselves a point, perhaps one that they, Hreds wasn't expecting to give up, but IQ secured it nonetheless. If they can get this other late one, then, I mean, that'll really be a big statement for them. But already, a comeback against this team, I don't care if it's on the power play or not, that's a huge feat already for IQ.
Those are the type of points, Sin, that can get you into the playoffs or help you avoid relegation. Being able to pick points off of top teams, do not overlook what the first, or really the second game of the season could mean for IQ down the stretch. That one chopped towards the front. Santari has it, nearly picked the corner on phase. That close to IQ pulling off the upset. I mean, also as well, you got to factor in this extra point, what it could mean for Hreds in the regular season and ultimately in the playoffs. Benito has it down low. Dishes back to King of Apes again, back down to the centerman. Shot, a big blocker, saved by Pirza. Great stop there. Chance for Nicky Dangles, poked away at the last minute. Make Axel having trouble. Nico as well with the pressure. Santari, big stretch pass here to Nieppe, but he has trouble with Nicky Dangles. Hreds looking to go back down the other way. Pressure fended off well. They go for the quick out. It's on net, and FaZe forced to direct that one to the side. Hreds in possession here. An incredible pace to the first 6.5 minutes of overtime. Of course, sudden death, next goal wins. As Hreds back in the zone here. Domi at the point, a lot of space to work with. Apes to Nicky Dangles, pressured off. Still fighting for it here are Hreds. It's Domi, still in possession. Down low for Villapoica and around the back. Be Nicky Dangles who comes up with it. Good movement here from Hreds. Lehtinen intercepts. Let's see what Nieppe can do. Finds Santeri. Great poke check there, though, by King of Apes to take away the pressure. And again, Hreds trying to get in on the attack. Nicky Dangles couldn't find space. Ique can't dump that one in, but it's poked away one more time. Ique looking to reset. They can't gain the line clearly. Puck down below the goal line here now. Hreds. Let's see what they can do on this counter-attacking opportunity. Domi looking around, finds Benito, gets it back. Not the clean entry they wanted. There it is, though. Villapoika with space. Weaves through, and a big kick stop by Pirza. Another big save by the Ique netminder. Here's Nieppe with space. Holds, tried to go down low, just wasn't there. Couldn't find the pinching Ique. 13 minutes gone in the overtime now. Hreds not able to gain the line cleanly. And a pass that is off the mark. No icing on the play. It'll be a free possession for Hreds. A pinch there by Nieppe. Caught back. Hreds going to try to get something done on the rush. Nieppe recovers. We'll send it down low. Under 5.5 to go in what could be the first overtime of who knows how many. As Nico finds Nieppe. Puck loose. Recovered by Hreds once more. This feels like a playoff game. It's game number 2 of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say, this is such a nail-biter here. We're seeing Ique get some possession, looking for the down-low plays. They might be able to start working it around.
Santeri back to the point. Shot on! Just blocked. Incredible chance again. Ique down the boards. Recovered by Benito, and he'll feed King of Apes. 2.5 remaining here. An incredible atmosphere and tension to this game. Nicky Dangles not able to hold on to it. You know, some of the opposition from these top teams have to be loving this right now. Seeing Ique push Hreds like this. The pass is off the mark. Final 2 minutes are slow. It's real time at this stage. Here's Nieppe with a bit of space in front. Loose puck. Shot! Second chance. Man, if that shot wasn't picked off by his own teammate, what that could have been. 1:35 to go. Here come Hreds. Benito with a little bit of space to work with. Looks to cut back towards the top there, towards the point. Still has it. The hit there. A little bit of space for Domi around the back. And again, Nicky Dangles in front. Sauce through. Villapoika just not on the receiving end of that one.
Both teams playing very responsible defensively, getting back when they know they don't have a great chance to pick up the loose puck. They're not taking chances on the 50-50 battle. You don't want to give up any easy chances to your opposition right here. I'm really liking it. We're seeing both teams with the pressure on them and how they respond. Both of them look great.
Good movement here. Nicky Dangles tried to go to Benito. It's recovered by Nieppe. Final minute of this overtime. We'll stay with it for as long as it takes. Here's Santeri across for Ique. Phase with a big kick save to keep this one going. Incredible goaltending duel here with a 3-3 scoreline.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Ique. Probably looking for that forehand one-time shot. Ended up shooting it on the backhand. Perhaps not getting the elevation he would have preferred. Allowing FaZe to get the save, but we're going to see Hreds power play go back to work. They're going to have 30 seconds of real time as well at the end of this overtime. Huge gutsy kill got to come up here for Ique.
The center Lehtinen who takes a seat, but the face-off nearly won, and indeed won by Santeri, and he draws the equalizer. Incredible turn of events here. Santeri steps in against Benito, ties him up, and draws the hook from Nicky Dangles. It'll be 4-on-4. Absolutely unbelievable. 26 seconds to go on regulation. As Benito wins that one clean, but Santeri caught him off guard. I mean, Benito's done a great job against Lehtinen to win the draws, but getting a different opponent, how big of a factor was that? Chance here, 15 to go. Hreds in the zone. Puck down low and sent across. Villapoika again, the chance stopped by Pirza. He'll play it out with 5 seconds to go. Perhaps one more chance if they can get it down the ice. Ique loses it. It's double overtime in just the second game of the season. Unbelievable game that we have going here.
Wow. And you know what? Shout out to Pirza. He has made a couple enormous saves to keep his team in it. Hreds, you know they're going to attack that middle. You know they're going to get shots, time and time again. But Pirza really elevating his game here when it matters most for his team. You love to see that for the new blood here in the elite division. A team that is, seemingly getting better in clutch situations. Oftentimes, nerves can get the best of you, especially going up against a team as good as Hreds, who have experienced this before, who have had success in situations like this before, but IQ not looking like slouches, not looking like they don't belong. What a turn of events from game one into this one. What a different team we're seeing out of IQ.
Always great when we hype up a season to say it could be the best one yet, and then we have this in just the second game for these two. Chance for Santari on the doorstep. Loose puck and a stop by FaZe, robbing the Epi on the doorstep. We march on. We continue. Unbelievable save there. Here comes Benito down low. Might actually be King of Apes pinching in, and it was. Domi's shot blocked down. 10 more seconds to go of 4-on-4 hockey before a very brief power play for IQ. And there it is, all 2 seconds of it. I hope you enjoyed. That's going to hurt the stats. Hreds in the zone. Not in possession, though, at the moment. This has been incredible. As it's IQ back in control here. They'll slow it down. I mean, they keep looking to catch the defense off guard, but without doing the whole slap pass down the ice. Not wanting to risk the icing call, Sin, due to Benito getting the better of the draws. Still have it here. Here's Santari, a little bit of space to work with. Disappears. Nico not able to hold on to it. Hreds back in control once more, but only for a moment as that one's off the skate. And Nico will recover to reset here for IQ. There it is, the quick out. Layton and just couldn't time it as it was broken up by Domi. No space there at the blue line. It honestly has the feeling of a playoff game. I can't get over it. Double overtime. Hreds again went to the final last year. IQ automatic promotion, winning our Pro Division playoffs over Goons, who were heavily favored by the so-called experts, which was most people. The chance here. Trouble at the line. Recovered. Chance. Layton can't get it in front. Niepi's going to win the race, though. Takes his time. Back to Mock Axel. Shot deflected. Kick stopped by FaZe. We continue on. Nearly halfway through double overtime. Benito holds it. Villapoica scores! Out of nothing, Hreds find the goal and walk away with the extra points. An incredible game. What a way to end the opening night broadcast. My goodness.
Yeah, what a saucer pass. Villapoica just streaking for the net and just trying to get pucks and bodies to the net right there. I think that was Benito throwing it with that saucer pass. It hits off a body. He picks it up behind him, and then he's able to sneak it through on that left-hand side. Once again, Pirza not able to get to the point, and we see it. We talk about it time and time again. Goaltenders' unwillingness to go into that butterfly until they are either forced to in an animation or absolutely have to. But how many close calls did we see? How many big saves from Pirza? How many big saves from FaZe? None bigger than that one right there. Absolutely unreal. Niepi trying to sneak it home, kicked against the post, and then out.
God.
That close. Inches. Absolute inches away from being a win for IQ. They get the point out of it, and they've got to, they got to appreciate that. Oh, what lightning. I mean, excellent play by him with the defensive skill stick, trying to get in the way. Just an unfortunate bounce, but feels like maybe a bit of a vindication for Hreds, who were the recipient of a couple bad bounces leading to this one going to overtime in the first place. They get rewarded with one right there, and Villapoica able to bury it home. Tough loss for IQ, but you know what? They can take a lot of positives from this series, but especially the second game. Yeah, they got blown out 7-0. You throw that one in the trash. This second game, they showed a lot of character, a lot of guts, and a lot of a good play from them down the stretch, capitalizing on their opponent's mistakes. I would say, without hesitation, they belong here in the Elite Division, and I would be kind of surprised if we saw them in a relegation position, simply off of the performance there in that second game.
It's not often that I'm near speechless, but that, I mean, you mentioned, right? And we'll look at the goal here. and the one to tie it up as well as you get a look at the replays. IQ with some pretty beneficial bounces to get into that position.
Yeah.
So as much as it looks like this goal here is just the game being the game, as I'll put it nicely, the defensive skill stick, it bounces, of course, right to Villapoica. It all comes out in the wash in the end, right?
Yeah.
Hreds were the better team, are the better team, but I think IQ, hey, if their detractors want to say, lucky bounces got them there, that's fine. But you saw the play in terms of the overtime. I think you're right at this stage. I mean, there was some argument certainly for IQ to make the playoffs. And, I can't disagree with that statement either at this point. I think if we see that consistent level of play from IQ this season, they could very well see themselves in one of those, final three spots that are seemingly up for grabs. I know our friend here at NHL Gamer and one Yaha in his season preview had IQ in 7th, making the playoffs. And who's to say he won't be on the money at this stage? Because again, that was an incredible performance from them. And like you said, you take that 7-0 game and you say, the hell with it. We'll regroup here. And the front three started to get it together. The defense started to get it together. Pierza started to make some big saves down the stretch as well. That was a big performance from them. They only walk away with 1 point out of a possible 4 through their opening night matchup. But all things considered for IQ, I mean, I think they won some people over with that type of performance. Whereas for Hreds, you have to wonder how their competition at the top is going to view that. Not to say, of course, that big teams don't lose to, some of the teams outside of what we consider the big 2, 3, maybe even 4 and 5. But there was some rockiness. There's some wrinkles that they need to, smooth out as the season goes along.
Yeah, and now Hreds find themselves in a position perhaps they haven't quite been in at this point. People are expecting them to be winners. They're expecting them perhaps to get back to that championship. They are expecting them. The expectations for Hreds now much higher. And that's something that they maybe quite haven't really experienced. They've had, high expectations before, like, this team, they could crack that top 4. They could maybe, make a push for the finals. Well, they just went to the finals. They faced Philadelphia. They ultimately lost, but they beat Havu. Now the expectation, I'd say, for Hreds through the course of everyone is top 4 minimum. And that's in playoffs too. You better make those semifinals if you're Hreds. So the expectations perhaps have never been higher for them. Maybe a bit of nerves there. A lot of penalties taken, as you mentioned. Things to iron out right here. But yeah, I mean, the mental, being maybe expected to win rather than being like, we're here. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can make it there. Now it's, you better make it there. That's what the fans expect. That's what the hype around them is saying. And I'm sure that's what they expect of themselves. But yeah, definitely want to get that discipline in order across the rest of the season, because some of the teams that we have ranked higher will definitely make them pay a lot more frequently than IQ did.
You may have seen the smile across my face on a couple of occasions. The first one, in reaction to the tweet from Hreds a few moments ago saying, keeping up the tradition of not letting Sin and Tugi have a short evening. So we thank you for that, boys. At the very least, you always make it entertaining. Yeah. And on the flip side, Sin, again, this was just night 1. Mm-hmm. We will be back on Wednesday with 2 very intriguing matchups, hence the other smile. Wednesday, Sin and I will be back, same time. Of course, I can't wait for this. It is the brand new, will it be the improved Vesa Pampa lineup they will be taking on Havu. You talk about a revenge tour. Havu falling in the semifinals to Hreds, losing their crown as a result. Very intrigued to see what they're going to look like. And our second matchup on the day, talk about trying to make it a big 4, big 5. Färjestad in action against newly promoted. It is ZSC Esports.
The German hype machine.
Cannot wait to see them in action either. I mean, this is an incredible start to the season. I am so excited for this to be back. A look at the latest results for those of you that may have missed it, the results around the league. As you see here, of course, we covered the Hreds IQ, Sawa, Rusty Blades matchups, Elsewhere, we had YMCA Esports taking on Poggers with a 1-1 split between the two. YMCA, one of those teams that missed the playoffs last year. You could argue they're worse off. Poggers, of course, formerly known as SJ, finished in ninth. Of course, just missed the playoffs by one spot. And with some changes that they made, it'll be interesting to see, of course, if they can battle back as well. This season, the 12th season here in the ECL, the Elite Division, has just begun. We have a long, long way to go, and we hope you will join us for the journey here. Again, NHLGamer.com for all the information that you need. It's going to be one heck of a ride, of course. And again, one more time, a shout out to our sponsors that you'll be hearing from for a while throughout this season. Viaplay, of course, our friends at Wilhelm, and Kova Esports, of course. So make sure to check them out. I am excited. I
gotta step in here, make a small correction. The second it came out of my mouth, I instantly felt regret. Yeah, ZSC. Sorry, not the German hype machine, the Swiss hype machine. I do apologize. When I tuned into their cast, I heard the German going on. My brain connected 2 and 2. But yeah, the Swiss hype machine. I mean, if you remember, if anyone was following them on social media, their production team, incredible. They're hungry for success here. So I can't wait to see them take on Färjestad.
And in fairness, in terms of some, outside of Sweden and Finland flavor, of course, we are used to someone like Team Leisure kicking around in the Elite Division as well. So you got to give us some time to adjust, especially with some of those names that we're going to see on the ZSC lines. You're going to want to tune in for that hilarity, and I apologize to the boys in advance. With that, I think we are pretty much done and dusted here for this opening night broadcast. We thank you all very much for joining us. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at SinForTheWinProd, as you see on your screen, and on YouTube at SinForTheWin Productions. Myself, everywhere, right here on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Tugi24. Sin, I don't want it to end, actually.
No.
There have been some broadcasts after a double overtime game where I'm like, oh, God, let it end. I could call more games, and we will, but it will be on Wednesday. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you soon. This is going to be a fun season.